What's up, y'all? Kofi Kingston here, and I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks, depending on what that drink is, preferably non-alcoholic, you know?
How's it going? Celtic Warrior Shane.
Soda.
I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
Maple syrup.
Fella.
I would never have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
Is he still pale?
We are live.
Yeah, I bet. You went fucking live. What do you want me to do about it? You only said fix Klump as you're going live.
We're good.
God. Thank God it's the first episode.
Yeah.
Welcome to Wrestling on the Rocks, episode 1. That's right, the show where every show is our first show, because we're not going to move on until we get the first show right. And goddamn, if we get even close to one right episode.
Hey, Leah Moonlight.
Leah Moonlight in the chat. Cheers to Leah Moonlight. I'm Ref Marsh.
Hey.
We are WOTR the show. That's right, Wrestling on the Rocks. Producer over there, you want to say hello? No. Hello? You want to?
No.
Oh, now
Hello, I am here.
Yeah.
I was trying to get stuff together.
Oh, yeah, now who's... Oh, the tables have turned, have they?
Oh, you think that really riled me?
Am I mute? Can you guys still hear me? Am I muted?
Oh, how the turnstable.
That is right. Klump, go ahead and say hello.
Howdy, my name's Klump. I work here. I volunteer my time here. I'm on Twitter as CryBabyKlump. I do things and talk about wrestling on occasion. This week I actually watched it.
It's all over.
Hopefully that's good.
It's all over work. Amanda, go ahead and say hello.
Well, hello. It's Miss Amanda Jane here. And unlike Klump, this is very not like me. I didn't watch it all.
You clumped up. You clumped up.
Clumped
You
up.
clumped up.
Oh.
Klump's like, is there any way we can stop doing that?
No, that's fair. I know me.
AFK, it's birthday, so going to be munching.
Oh, yeah.
AFK is away from
Happy
keyboard.
birthday to Leah Moonlight. It is their birthday.
Cheers and happy birthday to Leah Moonlight. Pa, 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 pa. Pa, pa. I would shoot the money gun, but I'm not looking to get in trouble tonight. So, cheers to Leah Moonlight and a birthday. Are we going to sing a song? Does
I'll
anybody know?
mozzarella stick to that.
Yes.
Mozzarella sticks.
Wait,
where'd you get a burger and mozzarella sticks?
It's good.
I went to
great
my
question.
sponsored place.
They have mozzarella sticks?
They do, yes. Small,
There's
medium,
one
and
real
large.
close to Klump, too.
5, 6, and 8, I think. Or
Oh.
no, 4, 6, and 8.
Klump's like, what time do they close?
But if you really want to know, since we're talking about where I got my mozzarella sticks, I'll go and I say, I have my non-sponsored, sponsored cherry slush. And because it's been one hell of a week, I have in here some Sailor Jerry.
No.
Justin Times in the chat, also saying happy birthday.
Man.
Bacardi 151 with
Everclear.
Sprite.
No, I can't do 151 right now. Oh my God, I'd die.
Today was bad. I've got myself a cocktail, 151 and Everclear. Splash of lime. Just one squeeze of lime.
Yeah, she starts tweeting out nonsense.
Yeah, your tweets lately have not been complete sentences, and so we know tonight's going to be good. Yeah, yours.
Yeah, I know. I don't even know what I was doing. I was just so tired and exhausted, you know?
Yeah. I saw it, and I was all like, what? Is she going to be on the show?
I
was like,
had 3
maybe
phone
she's trying
calls.
to text someone.
No, that was me. But I had 3 phone calls, and one actually, an AEW superstar, not the person behind me, but another one was like, "Are you okay? Do I need to call like 911? You know, and get you 5150?" I go, "No, I'm fine. I'm just exhausted." You go for like 6 months almost when your brain isn't doing anything, you're not working, and then all of a sudden you just get thrown into the fire. Okay?
Yeah. 100%. I saw that quote or that tweet, and I went, shit, she might be fucked up before we even get to the show.
No, I wasn't even. I was completely sober. I was just tired.
Yeah. So Justin Time is in the chat saying happy birthday to Leah Moonlight as well. Enjoy your munchies, Leah Moonlight. And then Just in Time is asking, do you even English today, Amanda? Because you've been having a tough time. So, but that's what happens when you work and you haven't been working in a while. Your brain starts to move a little bit, and it doesn't like that one bit.
And then I had a meltdown because my work laptop, I had to send it back. And so I'm using the person that I'm, working for right now. She left. I'm using hers, and I'm not familiar with where all the shit is on hers. And I can't, do anything. So can't download things I need to. It's a mess.
No, that's a good reason to drink. Klump, what are you drinking?
Oh no, it's gone. Okay, I was drinking coffee, without any cream, because it gets worse than that. So I was at home for a few days. Usually, what I do when I go to work is I do coffee in a thermos with some half and half. Have a good day. Get to lunch. Take a giant chug of that coffee, and that half and half had gone bad.
I
And
definitely
that's why-
thought you were gonna say you take a giant shit.
I definitely thought I was gonna go different way.
Yeah.
I like the twist. I
I
like the
thought
turn.
that was coming too.
No. But like, it tasted like a giant shit. And boy, did the person in the car next to me who watched me just throw up out my window. And
Yeah.
no.
No.
And I wondered if it was my thermos. I didn't know the creamer was bad because I just bought it. And then today, I made myself a cup of coffee, poured that cream in. I was like, that's a weird color. Look at the creamer. Take a swig of creamer. That's bad. So
Yeah, if you have to mash the creamer into the coffee, it's too much,
No, it looked fine. It then, like, I was like, now it doesn't look good. Oh, it's buttermilky.
Ew. Okay, no.
Yeah.
Yay.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
Do you want
I'm having proper number 12.
Never mind.
In 12 days. 12 days from today. 12 days. We need a number 9 drink.
I'm too tired for that right now. But I do want to comment about that 9 day. Okay. I don't know if anyone, I really didn't see the whole thing. I only saw this snippet, and I don't know why, of the TNA or the Impact. Sorry, it's not TNA anymore. Sorry. The Impact pay-per-view. And you see Tony sitting there. I'm like, you're such a goob, dude. Get a haircut. And all I can hear in my ears was Marsh saying, 9 days, 9 days. I'm like, oh God. Yeah.
9 days from today. 9 days.
Oh God.
He looks like a freshman in a high school.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's a 7-year-old, 14-year-old.
Yeah. They need to make a plush doll of him, and it has a voice box, a little pull cord, so 9 days, 9 days, and then Marsh would be in heaven.
I could see him wearing a skinny tie over a delicately untucked, slim fit white button up.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
I've seen that. He wore that to PWG with this really weird, odd colored blue blazer. Yeah.
And spiky boy punk belt.
Oh, I don't know what kind of belt he had, but.
All right.
We're not going to work for AEW. I'm cool with it not working
that dude wore Jinkos for a while. There's no doubt about it in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
When he thought he was real cool. Mm-hmm. And Osiris sneakers. The fluffy ones.
God.
Guys, it has been a good day. Let's do a little bit of, as they say in the biz, I imagine. I have no idea. We're not part of any biz. A little bit of housekeeping, they say. Housekeeping?
We're not even a nonprofit. We haven't broke even.
Hell yeah, dude.
In the biz.
I do want to shout out real quick TW Takes Podcast. That's right, Terrible Wrestling Takes Podcast. twtakes.com/TWTs. We have an exclusive promo code for our listeners and our listeners only right below us. Pow! If you're watching, but if you're listening, it is DE greater than symbol AZ. D is in dog, E is in elephant, greater than symbol, A as in asshat, Z as in Z last letter of the alphabet. Really good at that. Phonetics. Phonetics.
Yeah, if you were ever to like work in somewhere where you have to do, the alpha, omega, you'd fail.
I did a great job. There was one time I had to do that with somebody. I had to get their initials, and their initials were PM, and I was like, P as in pony, M as in my. My favorite one I used to do all the time was W as in Y. I used to do that all the time. And people sitting around me in the cubicles would be like dying laughing, being like, what is wrong with you? This is designed to make it easier.
Yeah, I've been a victim of that, I believe, too.
Yeah. Yeah.
N as in night, K as in night.
Yes. Yes. 100%, man. 100%. But TW Takes, Terrible Wrestling Takes podcast, Bishop is kind enough to send us some of his merch. If you keep an eye out on his page, he is going to be releasing some of this stuff, like these amazing coasters, which I'm super stoked for. Klump got his coasters today. Amanda will be getting hers shortly.
Yeah.
But...
Question.
Yeah, what's up?
So Wednesday nights, is he just shitting on AEW?
Kind of.
Is that what his Wednesday night is?
Not exactly. So his thing. So what Bishop does, and this will be our last promo for Bishop. He's not sponsoring the show like he thinks he is. No, I'm kidding. He'll be on the show soon enough too. Yeah. But the what he does is he has his own Wednesday Night War now because he realized there was an opening in scheduling where he could go head to head with AEW, and he feels he's got a shot. And I feel like he's got a shot, man. So he does Wednesday Night Wars now where he goes live the same time AEW does to talk about NXT and have AEW playing. And if there's anything about it that makes him turn up the volume, he'll talk about it and put it over. Most of the time, he is not turning the volume up for various reasons, and he's vocal about that when he sees it. This last episode, he actually just turned it off partway through. He goes, that's enough of this. And I like the war, man. I like the war. I'm here for the conflict. I'm here for the petty.
Battle him. I'm like, I should come back and I should battle you, man. No.
Oh, yeah. We should get you on a Wednesday Night War. Let's see. Justin Time is in the chat. Says the only way Bishop could get Delaware over is through a promo code, I guess. Damn right.
So true. So true.
Yep. Can we do a promo code on his show that's fuck Delaware? 10?
We don't have a store open. And you guys, you will get 25% off if you use that promo code. And the shirts are already at a ridiculously low price because of the way he had them printed, but they're also really fucking comfortable. I was wearing one all day today. So it's not like a low quality tee. He just had them made in a really good spot and had them shipped to him. So he's already got them in hand and we'll ship them to you. We got ours in 2 days. If you order anything off PWTs, it's taking about 20 days right now because of the way they're doing their stuff. So just a lot of good reasons to go through them. Just in Time does make up a good point too, though. Close the gap a little more this week on the Wednesday Night War. Let me see. Was there any other promo stuff we wanted to get out of the way before we talk about the ratings a little bit?
I don't think you mentioned to them about the Marquez, because I think that happened when you were talking with Kev, right?
That's probably true. Did you guys, Klump and Amanda, did you guys hear about David Marquez opening up CW? It's not W.
No.
CF. It's CFW
Championship
Productions
from
in Atlanta. Yep. He's going to be putting a local promotion together in Atlanta that will be televised locally.
Oh, nice.
Damn. That's a big, F you.
You know what it made me think of, Amanda? I went, finally, wrestling has come back to Atlanta.
Yeah.
Because I'm not paying that NWA OnlyFans fee just to watch a couple of people who used to wrestle.
No, I mean...
I don't need to see 900-day internet champion if it's not Matt Cardona. I'm just throwing that out there.
Well, it should have been if, we didn't have a freaking pandemic. You would have had almost year... Well, actually, yeah, you'd have 1 year, Marty Scurll was the champ. Not that I knew if he was going to do it. I just knew that he's due. He was due.
No. No, she's saying the pandemic is the reason why Nick Aldis was remain champion, which is also partly true. It's really I was getting real bummed about these fluffed up numbers this year where everyone's like, I've been holding the title for this long and this long. So you didn't wrestle for over a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, okay. Oh,
I think Doesn't
I
Zicky
have
Dice
news for
now
you.
hold the record for the new NWA TV title championship reign? Isn't he the longest reigning? Except he didn't defend it one time. He lost it on his first defense, but he held it longer than anyone else because there was a pandemic and they didn't have any shows. It's just
That's
weird,
sad.
man. It's a weird fluffed up number. And so when he's all like 900 days, 900 days, 900 days, 900 days, internet champion, 900 days, NWA. That's what it felt like, man.
Had to go.
Well, they did.
Had to go. What?
I posted my Tony Khan drawing, and I added AEW. We'll see if anything comes of it.
Oh my god, great.
Oh, good lord.
We'll see what comes of it. Maybe they'll Chelsea Green me. Who knows? The other thing, real quick, Amanda, about that though, and I don't mean to talk over you guys. I apologize, but I'm getting excited. It's fun hanging out with you guys.
God, you're totally excited. That 9 days thing just like amps you up.
So the whole thing with him doing a local promotion in Atlanta does feel a little bit like an FU to NWA, but also, if you remember, about 3 weeks ago or so, Nick Aldis blocked David Marquez, and none of us knew why. And when I reached out to somebody who's friends with a lot of people there, said that he thought it was peculiar. However, he did say that Marquez had been getting more and more vocally critical of the NWA product and what it was putting out recently, especially without David Marquez. And when people were tweeting at David Marquez, he had no problem saying they didn't invite me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I saw that, yeah.
The person I talked to thought, hey, maybe Nick Aldis just had enough of all that. And I was like, maybe, but without David Marquez, the NWA doesn't look like what it looks like right now.
Yeah.
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
But
And
go ahead, Amanda. Go ahead.
yeah. And I think also too, like with Nick Aldis, let's go there. I mean, you know, God forbid you say something that's slightly negative about, you know, him or like what, you know, what he's associated with. Because block, instant block. But I'm like, dude, you know, be real. Like, I'm sure that you guys are like, the people who are still there are like, damn, like this is not the same, you know. And I would I feel cheated almost with NWA, that like we got robbed of something that was great.
Yeah.
To this, whatever it is now.
What it's become. It was a huge fall from grace, if you ask me, for sure.
Yeah, huge.
Real quick, producer had something she wanted to say.
Oh, I was just gonna add on to David Marquez Productions is his company, which sounds pretty awesome. It covers the brands of United Wrestling Network, so Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, from Arizona, Memphis, Atlanta, Primetime Live, which is really cool. That it just really looks super professional, and you know, I think knowing that his name is on anything, you know, it's going to be a great product.
Yeah, David Marquez does not slip.
Absolutely.
He does an amazing job at any part that he's doing. I remember thinking that when I walked away from, I had him sign my poster, my Hard Times poster. I had him sign it because I was like, this dude does so much here. It's obvious. And you were there, Amanda. You remember the commercial break stuff, the way he was talking to the audience, telling everybody what was going to happen. Here's what we're doing. Here's what we're filming. We're panning this way to that way. So I need you guys to this. He was amazing at directing the audience. So we knew what we were doing and how we could help. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was great.
It's great. I wonder, this is not totally kind of off the topic, but it's a Marquez topic. I wonder if he's going tomorrow to Disneyland's reopening, since they've been closed for over a year, because he's such a, you know, Disney guy. And you know, I'm just wondering.
I'll tweet at him. I'll find out. He's my new friend.
Yeah, because it'd be very interesting, because especially because of his connection with Disney and him being one of the tour guides there for a while. I'd be curious, like, what his thoughts are, because you know they've never closed like that for that long, and you know that'd make a cool, interesting, just you know, conversation with Marquez. I mean, you know. And especially, I also want to know how he feels about the Jungle Cruise and they taking away Trader Sam. I'm pissed. You know, I'm sorry. They're like Aborigines and like, you know, ethnic war chanting people, whatever. I'm like, you guys are too sensitive. You need to stop this crap. Okay. I want my like guy who sells 2 heads for one of yours. I need that in my
Oh,
life.
I gotcha. That makes sense. I wonder what they're gonna do with It's a Small World, because that. No, I'm wondering what they're gonna do with It's a Small World if they're starting to make these changes because of generalized cultural insensitivities. It's a Small World was not the
Well-
most sensitive.
Well, years ago, they should have taken those dolls that are in the Asia section that had the eyes,
Yeah.
the slant eyes.
Yeah.
But but whatever. I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's
just wonder.
Mary Blair art, so I think it's okay. But there are snowflakes, and I'm like, that's
Okay.
cool as long as you don't say that. Look at this is the Oriental section.
That's a good
Then
point.
I'm cool. No, I'm not cool.
Yeah. But it just makes me wonder with those little changes happening, what kind of things we'll also see changes with. But we'll see. I think change can be
Yeah.
good for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's still opening up local wrestling in Atlanta. That actually makes me pretty excited about it because, to be honest, it makes me think that it's going to be worth making another trip out to Atlanta to check out some wrestling and do
I
some of that.
think so too. I think so too.
Klump, anything you want to throw in on any of that? There was a lot there.
I haven't followed NWA in so long because it's been gotten weird. So I'm curious. I'm excited. Let's see. But I don't have really anything else to add, unfortunately.
Okay. No, that's fine. That's fine. Do whatever you want, man. Just kidding.
I have a news bit.
Hit it.
So I don't know if you guys saw, but CMLL is parting ways with Ring of Honor. That happened earlier this week.
Okay.
That was very interesting because Ring of Honor has quite a few luchadors that work for CMLL.
What's CMLL?
They have Los Ingobernables.
Yep. Yeah, they have Roosh. They have his brother, Bandito, Flamita. I don't know about Ray Horace. I'm not sure, but that's huge. So
Can you clarify what CMLL is to everybody who knows what Ring of Honor is, but not CMLL?
Yeah. I don't know. So we'll see what happens.
Can you clarify?
CML is a large promotion in Mexico, like AAA. They have had long relationships with Ring of Honor and New Japan in the past. Yeah. It stands for Consejo Mundial de Lucha Libre.
Oh, okay. Very cool.
Learn
Is
something
it
new
on
every
par
day.
with AAA out there as far as size?
One more time?
Is it as on par with AAA as far as size goes?
It's a little bit smaller.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's older. It's a lot older.
Yeah.
AAA has only been around since 92. CMLL's been around since 1930.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. That's dope. So those groups that you were talking about and the guys you were talking about, they're CMLL talent that have been working with Ring of Honor but not signed with Ring of Honor?
I think they're signed with Ring of Honor.
Yeah, they are
Rush
signed
is-
with Ring of Honor.
Yeah. Rush is their
And-
champ.
Yeah, he's their champ. Yeah.
Huh.
And
That's
Dragon
interesting.
Lee, his brother, was the television champ, and he lost that belt. That was interesting.
All right.
So one forbidden door shut.
Close that forbidden door right now. Klump,
It now is forbidden. Hey.
did you want to talk about what you want to talk about?
Oh yeah. I've said in the past that I'm not a huge fan of Jackson Riker because of a tweet he did and perceptions of his political affiliations, and I've said in the past I feel like I don't know if that guy deserves to work for WWE or and I still stand by. I don't particularly think it doesn't make me want to see him on TV based on if that is what it is. He sent out a tweet and it was really poorly timed, which added on to him expressing support for a president at that time. But I would say this more than that. There's a WWF Drake works straight younger. His actions of late, I truly question why he's a WWE. I think WWE employs performers of all stripes. They're professional, they're public figures, and while yes, you have the right to a public persona, yes, you have the right to a private persona and your freedom of speech and such, the dude jumping into county government meetings to spout off anti-mask bullshit and talk about QAnon conspiracies, I think yes, in uniform.
Yeah, there was an NXT logo on his shirt.
Why is he there?
And it wasn't
I'm
like
sure
a
there'll be
wrestling shirt you get from the shop. It was a polo with an embroidered NXT logo.
Yes, because to me, and we hear stories of like leagues even being upset with people for expressing their views. To me, this is very different than anything else. This is not I'll say, if you believe his stuff, I'm not a big fan of you. It's BS, because that is just, I think we can comfortably say we don't agree with what he's saying, and there's no reason for that to be a part of WWE in that company as a public representation of it.
Yeah, I think showing up in uniform and like you said, when you have the right to the privacy in your private life and all that, there is a line that's drawn between you being in uniform or representing the company. At that point, you are representing the company. You're saying, me as a representative of NXT, this is what we believe here. Like, that's what you're doing, whether you think so or not. I can't think of any company I've worked for that didn't explicitly tell people to have either a change of shirt in the car or in the building if you had to wear any shirt that had the company logo on it and you were going to be leaving that area, because at no point do they want you representing them unless you're in that building, because everyone has their right to privacy and their right to private life and all that. Don't force yourself to be an ambassador of our brand by wearing our logo in an official shirt that you don't just get at a shop and say something that, is best case regrettable. You know what I mean?
And he's been there for so long that he knows how to act, and outside of, he should know at this point.
Exactly. And I think the content of it also, like, the content of it, the view does throw into it too. It's not, to me, this doesn't come off quite like a lot of, ideas of being free speech. This is pretty far out there. And I think it adds to more, because I'm saying that because I feel like, to play devil's advocate, there'd be arguments of when, say, a football player expresses themselves during a national anthem, and I don't think these are anywhere near the same thing.
Yeah, and that dude quietly took a knee and got fired.
Yes, this is some guy actively yelling, spouting off conspiracy theories that are linked to some pretty horrible acts.
Yeah,
and while actively, being a member of a company, that's pretty far, Yeah.
Again, in uniform. Kaepernick was in uniform. That was part of their argument when they fired him, was, well, he was in uniform. He was representing the team. Was he or was he not? This is one where this guy's definitely in uniform, spouting off crazy things. I don't follow a ton of QAnon stuff, believe it or not, but I have been surprised, and I think that it's kind of funny, to oversimplify it a little bit. The way they keep their moral high ground is by constantly saying that the reason behind all of the things they do is to combat human trafficking one way or another. And it's so weird because it's so disconnected from what they're doing that it's like, it's one of those, it's a red herring of an argument with everything they say. Well, don't do that. Well, why not? Because of sex trafficking. Like, that's not the same thing.
Exactly.
Like, you're telling me you support trafficking? No. Well, then we're on the same page. Definitely not. Definitely not on the same page.
I'm gonna put my mask back on.
Yeah. So it's just a weird way to, like.
Yeah, and I don't. I'll stop short of saying fire the guy, but I'll say I don't think that's somebody I personally want to see working a lot of matches right now, and I think he could go away for a while, because that's just it's pretty far out there, It's pretty. You said earlier before the show, it's hard to advocate for somebody being fired, and I will step back and say, yeah, that's rough for me to say, but it's also just really hard to see these things with the representation of something you're passionate about.
Yeah. 100%. And I do think that there are times where you can call for someone to be fired. There are lines that can be crossed. I do think that there's a lot of people who typically jump to fire before reprimand. in their expectation of how something should be handled. And I think that everything needs to be looked at a case-by-case basis. In this case, I agree that I think him being in an NXT official polo, saying the things he was saying, then therefore made him a representative of the company. And that's an unfortunate thing to do, because if he had been in a regular shirt, it'd have been harder for me to say, well, is he allowed to talk in a town meeting in his own area? You know what I mean? This is like you're in Florida and you're wearing an NXT official polo and you're saying those things. Guess what you just did, buddy? You know what I mean? It's definitely grounds for firing, if you ask me. You know what also is grounds for firing in the WWE? Giving somebody all of their stuff back in a way that they just didn't like. Let's not forget that 2 weeks ago, someone got fired for Mickie James sending out a tweet saying, they sent me all my stuff back in a garbage bag. I'm so sad. Where's Mickie James on this one? Speak up. If you are so adamant about getting people fired because something doesn't have the right optics, let's talk optics.
That
she did her sorry not sorry tweet.
Yeah,
so.
sorry not sorry. Well, I'm sorry not sorry. We're talking optics. If you got all of your stuff, how many jobs have you guys lost that you left stuff there and you never got back?
Yeah. Well,
It happens all the time.
Yeah, and you do bring up a good point too. Is in part of this, if we're gonna throw out, and that guy got a lot of heat rapidly from a lot of people. Why was there was a fair amount of heat around Titus and Hogan at WrestleMania co-hosting together?
Yeah,
why
Bayley
didn't?
saved that.
Yeah. Why? What about the optics there? Why didn't we see more people talk about that? And because I was kind of on the side of, I think Titus could host that all his own. I think he'd be fantastic on it all his own.
Yeah.
Not even beyond Hulk Hogan's or Terry Bollea's comments in the past. I'm kind of tired of making wrestling about these cheap pops for the past. When you have competent people in the now. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't think any shows become better because Hogan came out in the past probably 10 years. You know what I mean? And I don't mean that in a largely disrespectful way. Although, there's a lot of reasons for people to be disrespectful and hate on Hogan. I'm just saying, completely out of context of that, nothing has become a better show because Hogan came out. The only time I can think of that was a nice moment was when Mean Gene passed away and Hogan came out and said some nice words about Mean Gene. That was nice. No other part have I been like, great job that Hogan came out. Even WrestleMania in New York, when Alexa Bliss was hosting and Hogan came out like once or twice, the show wasn't better for it.
Yeah.
I have a friend who was there and he hadn't been to a wrestling event since fucking Hogan was in WWE, so he thought that was cool. But how many of those people were there? I don't know if it was enough. I don't know if it had to be on TV.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You could have done that on the kickoff or before the kickoff.
Well, I agree with that. Yeah.
But I don't know. I was just screaming about optics because I just think that it's...
No, I think that's fair. I mean, it does go into a lot of things we talk about off and on with wrestling that I think we all debate is optics really, when we get down to this, are a big part of what makes us passionate. I think a big reason I really strongly did, had struggle with Jackson Riker was, the optics of when he said what in what time, and that sucked. Or, when the optics of finding out this performer or that performer donated thousands of dollars to X person. Optics of that, they affect things. If you're a viewer or a consumer or somebody's passionate about a product, you can use that as a reason to be a fan of it or not. I think wrestling, though, has a very unique place because it doesn't run the line of like a TV show. Like, I don't really like Charlie Sheen, I'm not going to watch 2.5 Men. It's more like, I don't like CBS, I'm not going to watch anything CBS does.
Right.
It's a lot. The effect of optics on a fan is a lot deeper.
It is, for sure. And I think that I do think it's an interesting topic of conversation. Amanda, was there anything that you want to throw in on that? I know that me and Klump and producer were really backgammoning it around there, but I want to make sure you had a chance to say something.
Like, there's some people, I'm going to use Flip Gordon as a great example. Okay.
He's a flip-flopper?
political views, no, his political views are, I don't agree with them. A lot of people don't agree with them. And I take it with a grain of salt because, I know he grew up in a red state. He's, he's an ex, he was in the military. Well, ex, because he's not doing it anymore. But there's just things about him that a lot of people, they go back and they see things like when he was like doing the flat earth crap. That he was just joking around with people because he thought it was funny, and he thought it was really funny that everyone got a rise out of it. Yeah. So he tries as hard as he can. He doesn't really, he means well, but and I'm not, saying that everyone, they mean well. Like someone like a Drake Younger or some of these other people, I know they don't mean well. Yeah. And, but Flip, I'm like, I know he had one of those parlor accounts. I was like, what? Freak. I'm like, what are you doing?
Not like Flip.
Well, no, but a lot of people don't. And I said, and I actually, because, that's one of my buds, and, I've known him for a long time. And I was like, yo, what are you doing, man? Because when I saw that, and he said, he said, yeah, no, I said, but you're not putting any of that rhetoric out of there. What people don't understand and don't know is actually Flip isn't just white. He's actually a little mixed guy. So, yeah, and I've met his family. So, people need to chill out sometimes, I think. You need to, if you're going to really hate, like have this campaign of hate about somebody, you really should probably research a little bit more about people's like background and whatever before you snap to judgment. Now, as far as like with, WWE, with the whole racism thing, like Hogan, I'm like, if they don't understand that everyone booed, okay, they had to cover up the boos. And even then, when they put that stupid track, not laugh track, but the, clapping or whatever crowd track, you can still hear the boos.
Yeah.
And it almost rivaled, to me, in my mind, it rivaled like when CM Punk and Cena had the Money in the Bank in Chicago when Punk won. How they booed Cena when he came out. I mean, that was pretty strong, especially because that's a stadium and it's not a full stadium, but there's still a lot of people there. And to get that kind of a loud boo is pretty, that should tell you something. Yeah. I mean, 100%. I don't know. That's just me. But I really do feel that, everybody's just really sensitive about things. But when you're talking about race and you're talking about, needing to fire people, I understand that if it comes to a point where it's affecting your actual performance, then I'd probably be, you know what? Yeah, you got to go. But if it's separate, like this is someone's character and this is someone, whatever, I get that, and because there's two different things. But if you were one of these characters that blur the line, that's not acceptable. So.
Yeah. Well, I think that Klump makes a good point too about just at this point, wrestling fans we are all pretty stupid, and that's why we get so mad when we're called stupid, because it only hurts if you know it's true. But we also have access to way more information. Yeah, there are a lot of them. Let's be honest, because we take a lot for what it is. And the thing is, as stupid as we are, we're also all really smart in that we have all the information in front of us. So we see stuff and we snap to decisions, and we know what's going on everywhere immediately. So we do get to see those things that affect our ability to blur those lines or to cheer a person if we know they're actually a dick because of all the stuff they do in their own personal life. So I do think that could affect things. And I don't know, like Klump said, if optics is a problem, then that's a big problem. We're going to say. Klump, you had something you were about to say or no?
I was going to say, I mean, I think also like to add to that, I think of the situation like with Jericho, it's weird in that I can be more okay with Jericho as a performer than him as a person, because it doesn't make me connected. I use it to kind of to be like okay with him because he was such a big part of my childhood as a wrestling fan. But like his show, for instance, he brings some things on, and we've talked about it here a little bit, where it's like, God, you're not Joe Rogan, and he blurs that line in such a way that I don't know, it does make it harder to separate them because he doesn't separate them that well, though he may try to,
Yeah, he may think he is, but it's definitely not.
Yeah.
Well, any final thoughts on any of that stuff?
I'm good.
Move forward. Was there anything else you had as far as news? I don't think I have anything. Did either of you get to see Impact over the weekend? I'm wearing my Matt Cardona ref shirt.
No, all I saw was your best friend Tony Khan.
No.
And I
Well,
yeah, and I hear you yelling 9 days. That's all I can.
it's the best. It's the best part of the show. It's the best part every time. Every time. So at the end of it, because there's a lot of stuff that happened that no one's paying attention to, but at the end of it, Kenny Omega wins against Rich Swann, which it was just total shock. Oh my God! What? Remember when Omega first won the title and he called himself a belt collector, and we all just said, "Oh, does that mean he's going to win the titles at Impact real quick?" And then they did that. And then the second that they had a match to combine the two titles, we said, "Oh, someone's going to win that and go against Kenny to drop both titles at once." And then they did that.
They did that.
Yeah.
We kept coming up with these terrible ideas, and we're like, that's not going to happen, and then they do them.
Yeah. I mean, there is times where obvious booking isn't a problem, and sometimes you see it coming because it is a good idea. And there's other times where it just gets old. Like, for 2 years now, I don't think that there's been anything we haven't guessed right on AEW months in advance. Like, oh, they're doing this. Oh, it's going this way. It just makes it less exciting and less important to be watching every week. And I think their numbers reflect that because they get random spikes. You know what I mean? Probably not random, but they get spikes. They'll go from 700,000 to 1.2 million. You know what I mean? So it's like, I think a lot of people watch it as in, well, I guess I'll see which episodes I need to watch. It's not can't miss TV at this point because it's just all very predictable. Oh, I'll wait till they get to this point and then I'll watch because I don't need to see the road there. So it's just something to think about. AEW's numbers came out. NXT's numbers came out. They both had a dip. When I dip, you dip, we dip. Let me see if I get it right here. NXT dropped by, oh man, I don't have it right in front of me. I know the AEW dropped to 889,000, so they're below 1 million again. They lost 20% of their viewership in 1 week.
I saw someone on social media saying, "Oh, well, they had to compete with football and the presidential speech, so give them a break." And
yeah, probably, maybe. But everything's a competition, right? That's what they keep saying. I mean, AEW was down a little bit. Oh, here it is. AEW. Oh, no. Man, I had it a bit ago. Okay, but NXT was down about 30,000. If I remember correctly. Or maybe it was 80,000. It was shy of 100,000, I'll tell you that. But it was weird because I kind of predicted the opposite, right? I was like, okay, they're both going to drop and then they're going to climb back up. They both spiked heavy and then they're starting to find their baseline. They're going back down. Which is what I said after they both spiked. I was like, well, that's crazy. I wonder where it's going to drop to and just stay. But it's kind of neat. And it is a little bit funny because as Papa H keeps saying, it's a marathon, not a sprint. So it's one of those things where the numbers are interesting in long-term things because of the way people behave when they get a good number. The way that Jericho behaved when they got 1.2 million. He goes out and says, yeah, that's because we scared away NXT. They knew that they're an inferior product. Well, now your ratings are about the same again. So relax. Relax on that. Peacock had 9 million new subscribers since attaching WWE to them and The Office. So take that for what you will.
That's pretty impressive.
It is when you think that WWE only had 2 million subscribers. Are we going to think that... I mean, it's very possible, but are we going to say that The Office brought in 7 million?
Yeah.
Clump's like, definitely. Definitely.
I mean, I could see that, but like it's fair. Like it's a very captive audience. You will have, as popular as a show is, it's a show. Wrestling is truly like a sport in that, yeah, you take Formula One and put it on Disney Plus. Well, all your Formula One fans that are watching are going to go there. You do that with football, and it's interesting, I think, and cool because no sport, or if you see like one of these streaming services get all of a sport, they will win the game. Yeah.
Right.
Because it's that huge, and it would probably be a deal worth probably easily $100 billion deal. Like I could see like for NFL be something just utter like just frighteningly huge. Like but you get a small portion of that with WWE because it's not hundreds of millions of people watching, but it's a consistent 10, even 5. Yeah. It's a consistent group of people that just love this and watch it that aren't measured, and that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty good. On that same vein, with the sport thing you were saying, picking up the sports. So remember NXT moved because they thought USA was about to close the deal on NHL? Mm-hmm. Well, they backed out. And so now it looks like TBS is about to acquire NHL. Which means TNT might end up with NHL, which is hysterical. However, there was an interview with Tony Khan where he said, we're definitely not moving from Wednesday nights. We have a contract that says for the next 2 years, we're stuck on Wednesday night. And then he goes, but I'd be open to negotiations, or if they had a good deal, then I suppose that it's possible, but we're definitely not. But I would definitely listen if they needed it to move. It would be a conversation we could definitely have, but it's not moving. If it's a good deal for AEW, I would definitely take part of a good deal for AEW. And you're like, geez, dude.
That's a whole lot of business speak for, please don't fire us.
Yeah.
Please don't release us from contract. Please don't put us on True TV.
Yeah.
Well, I think with TNT, they're all like they've been synonymous. I can't speak.
Synonymous.
No one help her. No one help her.
Oh my god! It's starting. With NBA, and I don't.
It begins. The booze has hit.
The booze has hit. Oh Lord.
As Bishop would say, "Oh shit, here we go."
But you see, as a hockey fan myself, I don't like basketball anyway, but I don't like the NBA because, if a team has, if an NHL team has also an NBA team, it's like the worst ice on the planet. But anyway, long story.
What's happening?
Anywho, but my point is, I know it's weird, right? No, okay. But the point is that I don't think that they're going to put NHL on TNT. I mean, I know their own, whatever, but I don't see that happening. So maybe they're going to establish TBS as the hockey channel, because I remember back in the day, USA Network had hockey. I mean, this was like 80s, like 80s to maybe like 90. But
thank you, Just in Time, for subscribing at Tier 1 for 4 months.
Oh,
woo-hoo!
shit. Just in time. Coming
I would say this, Amanda. Mm-hmm. Why wouldn't they? Because if they do, TBS not only gets the hockey, they get all of Canada. Legally. All of Canada.
They get to own it. They own it.
Yeah.
But in Canada, do they show TBS? Is that a channel?
I don't know.
Or do they?
What happened to our Canadian in the chat?
That makes way more sense. Hockey is not near as popular in the U.S. as it is in Canada.
No. So that's why
NASCAR is more popular than hockey.
Exactly. Now, probably like the the cornhole. They show that on ESPN all the time. The cornhole competitions where they throw the bean bags into the little thingy. Yeah, that sometimes feels like that's more popular.
We used to have a Canadian who would hang out in the chat. I wish he was here to tell us, because he would tell us when stuff was getting advertised out in Canada. And for a while, TNT was available, or AEW was available through their Sky Network or something like that, but NXT was not, and NXT just became available in Canada. So I'd be curious to know if like one of their, if hockey would be available one way or the other out there. But yeah, I don't know. I agree. I don't think we'll see AEW get bumped for hockey, but I don't know. I don't understand contracts. I'm not a part of the
But-
thing.
We do
but I think it's
understand
funny that people are
cornholing.
talking about it.
We
Yeah,
do
we
understand
understand
cornhole, and we
And-
understand other things too. I don't know what, but we do. I will
I
say.
don't know how much you're understanding right now,
Yeah.
Amanda.
I'll
Oh
take
no,
your
I'm
word on
understanding quite a bit. No, but I will say this: like Canada, obviously, that's their national sport. They have goddamn hockey night in Canada. That's Saturdays. Okay, they basically show hockey all damn fucking night. And you know, I'm sure that they are showing these same games somewhere else on one of the other channels, like if it's either like Sky Sports or whatever. So I don't think they're gonna.
I don't know that it's going to be a
Pretty
big impact
confident
or
in
not.
that.
But I like that everyone's freaking out about it because they're like, "Oh my god, it's going to be the Tuesday Night War." I saw fucking
God.
Bully Ray even send out a tweet saying, "Oh, if they have to move for hockey, it'd be really interesting to see AEW go head to head with Raw with them getting numbers like these lately." You're like, yeah,
No.
interesting.
No, that's not gonna happen.
Holy shit! There's a hockey channel.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
There's a hockey
Um,
channel in Canada.
Yeah, duh. Yeah.
It's like the Weather Channel out there.
Yeah,
so-
it's like the Weather Channel. Yeah.
I
And I'm
didn't
pretty
watch.
sure they have curling too. I bet you there's a curling channel.
Oh, they definitely do. Definitely do.
They
As
have
far
to.
as AEW goes, did either of you watch anything you thought was notable? The only thing I saw from it at all was the Jericho promo, which everyone was flipping out about, and I thought it
that
was
wasn't
fine.
that great. That
It was
wasn't
okay.
that great. I will say, because of those who do not follow the internet wrestling, I do. I did watch those, and again, I really think that the best product they have right now, and it's been consistent, is Dark Elevation on Mondays. Just throwing that out. So if you're ever curious to watch it, that's one definitely I would kind of look at if I were whomever. Dark is dark. I mean, they're trying to cut it down, and they've been good about making both of them an hour and a half this week. But again, I mean, Dark, I think if they have the two, and then if they get another hour, they got to trim some of that down. But in my opinion, I think with the actual AEW show, I just want to comment that Brian Cage match. I'm sorry, I have some issues about that with him and Hangman. I have a couple of things.
Didn't he have
okay.
a match with Sonny Kiss and Janela over on the internet?
Yeah, there was that match too. That was
Yeah.
But the Brian Cage match, I'm a little irritated with. And yeah, I'm talking about Ricky Starks. It's our Ricky Starks moment. So, it's like I don't understand why. Obviously, Ricky took the fall last week, and now you have Brian Cage, who's he didn't really kind of beat the crap out of Hangman, because I will tell you that the Starks match was better than with Cage, because Cage just does the same thing. Well, he's a machine, so I guess that's part of the gimmick. But I really think Will Hobbs should have been in that position. But that's just me. That would have made for a better match. But I see where they're kind of going with it, because I think they're really gonna amp up Christian and Starks, because I don't know if you saw the Taz promo, but Taz was talking to, I can't remember who it was, and Christian came out, so it was a lot of like words, and basically like Christian was like, well, come on, step in the ring. Well, we all know Taz can't, so because of health and injuries and stuff. So it'll be very interesting. That's something to look on the radar. The Obnoxious Young Bucks, I love. I mean, I really did like that match with the Seidel brothers. It was very campy, and I know most people don't like that kind of shit, but it was fun. I mean, I like that kind of stuff, and I think that they're doing some great character work with that, and it's fun. I mean, I'd rather watch that than some of the other garbage that's out there. So Just saying. And I believe that QT Marshall should not be wrestling on TV. I'm tired of watching him try to wrestle.
I was surprised at how bad he is at running the ropes, dude. He looks goofy. He
Yeah,
stops
and you're
in
the
front of the rope and jumps
Yeah.
backwards. Like he doesn't
Yeah,
run
he
to the
trains-
ropes.
It's like you
Yeah.
train people, bro. What the hell? Yeah, he's
Yeah.
very
Not
he's
well.
very not well, I guess. But it's kind of sloppy. And who else was there? As far as the women go, Statlander and Penelope Ford, I thought were great. I mean, I know they've worked together before, with GCW and then other places in the Indies, but that was a very good women's match. So definitely, if you like the women's wrestling, check that one out because I was very impressed with it. So, and for people who are like, oh, Penelope Ford can't wrestle, take a look at her in Statlander. It was pretty magical, I thought.
All right. I heard it was relatively clunky, but I hear you.
It's clunky because of the ref.
Well,
We all know who the ref was.
was there anything? To be honest, I wasn't impressed by that Jericho promo. I thought it was fine, but it also felt heavily scripted. Maybe it's not, but it felt super scripted, and it felt. I don't know. I wasn't like,
think-
oh shit! Now I have to see this match. It was like,
No.
this is
Well,
the same
that-
shit he said the last 2 weeks. I could have skipped this one.
Yeah. And also, it's very scripted. It seemed scripted from MJF. It was scripted really with FTR. That was just, it was horrible. I thought it was horrible. And, and as they went down, I kind of tuned out. So I didn't know if Wardlow spoke again. That would have been great, but he didn't, I don't think, because I don't remember hearing him and Jake Hager. So, yeah, I mean,
Sean
it's
Spears
very...
and Sammy Guevara went back and forth.
yes.
Was that?
that was also seems kind of scripted because I don't think your best friend Sean Spears doesn't have a lot of range, but it was nice to see that Sammy said, oh yeah, you couldn't hack it over at that other place too.
I mean,
Yeah.
That was great.
Spears doesn't have a lot of range, but at least it was competent. It's like, okay, you didn't do this. If you're reading lines, you're reading lines well.
Mhm.
Okay. That's fine. Klump, what did you like on this show?
I wanted to like the face-off, but as time went on, I'm like, I like FTR. Sammy, you're doing okay. MJF and Jericho, shut the fuck up. Jake Hagar, Wardlow, keep doing what you're doing. You're doing great.
Yeah.
I'm just like, they didn't say anything, right? Yeah, they didn't. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Keep doing that.
Other than that, I mean, I got really frustrated with the Orange Cassidy match, and I know we talked about not being negative. This is my only thing I'll throw as a negative. I watched it, and it made me upset that it was two people just doing every single thing that we see them do so extended out that it just felt really old,
Mm-hmm.
Like, did I need to see Penta do the glove removal and mess it up, but like take his time doing it, and like the first 5 minutes of the match just be like the shtick of it, and kind of keep coming in? It just, I don't know, like, and be the exact same shtick, like.
Yeah.
Like, why did y'all pigeon you haul yourselves into this very specific thing? Can't Pentagon Jr. just be an evil asshole? Can't Orange Cassidy do something like just drop and not care and sit down? He's done on indie shows. Why have to be the hands in the pockets specifically, the little kicks specifically?
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
I like Trent. Trent was great.
Okay.
Trent's
What do
great
you
by
think-
not doing a lot.
I love heavyweight Trent.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
What do you guys think? So here's the other deal. Now that so there's this dick online that posts a bunch of anti-AEW stuff that makes me laugh because I like seeing the comments.
What
People
dick
just
is that?
freak out.
Is he from Delaware?
No.
Oh.
Is he Ref Marsh?
No. I don't post that online. I do it for the show, so that way you got to listen if you want to hate me.
Yeah.
But there's a guy who posts on there, and one of the things he did was once Kenny won the TNA and the Impact titles, because that's what they are. It is a TNA Heavyweight Championship that I think Moose made for himself, and then there's the Impact World Heavyweight Championship. He checked the last, because you can see his statistics through Google. He checked the searchability or the search statistics of both of those titles versus the 24/7 title, which obviously got way more searches than either of Impact TNA. And he's all like, "Great, he won 2 titles that are less interesting than the 24/7." And I was like, "Dick." But I thought it was funny. It made me laugh because it's a dick thing to say. But obviously, there's a number of reasons why the 24/7 title might get searched. But
yeah,
with that in mind, with everyone, what?
If you have time to look up that kind of shit,
Oh yeah, he's got the time to because
you must have some real bad hate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what makes it so good is when you get to the level of hate where it impedes your day. That's amazing.
I gotta stop everything. But the thing that I think is interesting is that when, like producers were saying before, where everyone's like, "Oh, well, they were competing against football, they're competing against the president, they're competing against everything," but realistically, they've lost 330,000 viewers in the last 2 weeks, and they dropped 20% of that this week alone. And all I'm saying is not that those things aren't a factor, but I think something that's also a factor is, like I said to begin with, it's not can't miss TV. Everyone saw that Kenny just picked up 2 new belts in Impact, and they didn't give a shit. They went, oh, okay, he's got those belts now too. If you're a huge fan, you don't miss it. You know what I mean? Everyone thought it's not appointment TV. It's not like, okay, I got to see it. It's I'll catch it whenever I catch it. Anything else is more interesting. NFL is more interesting. President Biden falling asleep, more interesting.
Hey.
What?
Fair.
I like the guy, but he sleeps a lot.
That's
He's
fair.
a sleepy dude.
That's what I like about him. Is
I love it.
He's a restful man. I want a person. Yeah, I want a person on his toes by getting a lot of rest.
He's a million
When
years
I
old.
get
You guys,
old, I don't want
did you ever watch?
Bother me.
Did you ever watch Saturday Night Live when Dana Carvey was on it?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Remember he did the Charles Grodin impression where he's like, and then he would just like go out and just like, and then someone would put that thing underneath his nose, and go, and start talking again.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel it is when we see Biden. He just like shuts down, and someone has to like poke him awake real quick. Get up, go! This is what I was talking about. Yeah, just like producer, where I got to figure out a way to wake her up to finish the show. For anybody who catched the last episode 1 with Kevlar, the last 4 minutes is me trying to wake up the producer, being like, we're trying to do a last call. I don't know what to do. Let's see. Just time to say, I don't get why Orange Cassidy won with some very heel tactics when he's clearly a face. I didn't realize that. I don't know. I didn't watch any of it. I don't have an answer because I feel like that they don't consider those things as factors the way that we as viewers do to become invested. We want to hate someone. We want to cheer someone. They think that it's no different than playing a video game. You need to think of AEW as watching a video game. If you've ever watched someone play a wrestling game on Twitch, you've watched an episode of AEW. People just put together matches for no reason. They'll use weapons. It'll suddenly become a DQ. They just think it's funny to end it that way. There's glitches.
Shit just goes south generally.
Yeah. AEW is 2K20 on TNT every week. It's just filled with glitches. Doesn't make any sense.
Shit, that's
People aren't
rough.
even touching each other, and they're falling down and rolling away. The referee sort of counts but doesn't, but the match ends anyhow. Yeah. Watch AEW with the filter of, is this a video game that's glitching? And say yes, and then you will enjoy it much more. I don't have anything else to say about AEW, to be honest, but I do want to know if either of you had anything to say about Kenny Omega's thing on there before we talk about NXT.
The whole thing just is like, we knew that was going to happen. So that's my attitude with it. So now what? Because I think we lost, and if Tony Khan did it right, we could have had a lot of amazing matchups as far as some of their people coming over to us and some of our people, I don't know why I'm doing that, but some of the AEW people, like I work with
people,
go over there, and then some of the Impact people come over to AEW. Like, I would have loved to see Sheeta versus Deonna Purrazzo. Not gonna lie, I'd love to see that. That would be amazing. And see I don't know, Trey Miguel versus Oh Lord. Trey Miguel's actually really. I don't know who I'd put it up against, but I mean, I would love to see him over there, and
Maybe
those
Seidel?
kinds of things. Mm, maybe.
But that's just it. Is that
It's
they
a
they
different
open
kind
the
of
forbidden
flippy,
door.
so that would be good. Yeah.
That's what I mean, and I think Seidel's seasoned enough to potentially make it work, but I don't know.
Yeah, and I
But-
think because Trey Miguel is very, in the fashion of, MSK. I mean, he's, not completely at that level, but he's almost there. That it would work. But
No.
I mean, we didn't get that. We got
Well,
nothing.
isn't one member of Top Flight also broken right now? So you could have put him against somebody and the other guy in Top Flight. You could have seen some cool
I
stuff there.
believe so, but it's
But-
weird. It's not like what they did with the Acclaimed, and Max Caster had this push, and now they're back. They're back because Anthony Bowens is back. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's just really it's really strange how the mindset of Tony Khan works. I don't get it because obviously he has ultimate say at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So it's really weird. I don't know, but I will say that I did see someone said we're getting somebody from New Japan is challenging Mox, so the forbidden door is opening.
Yeah, it
Now, is it-
opens like a hotel door opens, where like one person comes in and then that's it for a while. You know what I mean? Like it revolves around, and you're all like, "Did Kenta just pop in? No, he's still going. He's out again." What?
Yeah.
Like in Perfect Strangers, remember they're doing the thing where they're stuck in it and they just keep going around. That's the door.
Yeah.
Kenta showed up one time and that was it. He's not. He's not there now. What open door? They had a match in NJPW they were supposed to have anyways.
Yeah, and
You know what I
I
mean?
think
It
they're
wasn't-
going to do it for Mox's. Wait, does he still? I don't know.
Yeah. So Mox is putting
Yeah.
up his U.S. title against somebody from NJPW. I didn't recognize the name. Was it Yuji Nagata, something like that?
Oh yeah, Yuji Nagata.
Eugene?
No,
No.
Yuji.
Oh.
Nagata.
Are you familiar with him at all, Klump?
No, I just wanted to yell out Eugene. Like,
Oh, that sounds fair. No, I mean, it's just everyone's acting like it's a crazy thing
Older
because someone from
gentleman,
NJPW is going to be
seasoned.
wrestling on TNT. But I don't know. I don't know why I should care other than it's happening. And I guess this is the forbidden door: is that we're gonna from time to time see a spot show. But
Yeah.
The other
we're
thing
gonna
is that,
open the
like,
door.
if we're gonna do it,
go
but the
ahead.
thing is if you're really opening the door and you're trying to have that conversation, then you show the fucking belt more than once. The only time he's been on TV, I think twice in the past 2 years with the U.S. NJPW title. If it really means something, he'd carry it around. The fact that he never has it unless someone's coming to challenge it makes him go like, shit, I better go get it out of the bag then. If it meant something, you'd carry it. The fact that Kenny Omega is suddenly a belt collector and all of a sudden his AAA title pops back up, which I don't think it even did. The photo shoot I saw didn't even show the AAA title, but everyone keeps mentioning it because he only showed it one time because it doesn't mean anything to them. Part of seeing the champion is also seeing the championship. Seeing that title belt on them is what makes the whole thing seem prestigious. Oh, do you think Ric Flair was walking around without the NWA title unless someone was challenging him? No, motherfucker had it on him all the time. He had it at bars. There's no way he wasn't going out without it because it made it mean something more, that it was prestigious and it was something worth showing off. The fact that Kenny and Mox are not showing off those titles tells me they don't mean shit.
Yeah, they might leave it at a steakhouse.
They left it at a steakhouse, maybe. You know, I wish they would. That's my rant. That's my rant on that. Klump, did you look up to that guy from NJPW, see if he sounds familiar?
oh no, I know him. Yuji Nagata. He's an older cat. He's done stuff for a long time, so it's interesting. I think it builds up the idea of
Is he dope?
yeah.
Good.
I think it just builds up. It's meant to build up the importance of Moxley. You know.
Maybe, but they've already built in. They already have, to me, a built-in lack of importance of the title that the guy's coming for. It's like, oh, you want this old thing that I don't even talk about? I guess. You know what I mean? That's what it feels like. Some random dude's like, you've got that title I've been trying to get. And he goes, what? Oh, shit, I do. I guess I kept it back here all along. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, just weird. So if he's pretty good, though, I mean, I bet it's going to be a good match. I've enjoyed Moxley in NJPW much more than I've enjoyed him in AEW. And if you think that that's a not believable statement, then you're not watching both, because he has a different character entirely in NJPW.
Exactly. And then also, not just only that, but I think that New Japan does not shove them down your throat.
No, that's true.
Like, whereas sometimes I think AEW like kind of forces him on us.
And they add too much comedy, and I don't think there's any comedy in what he does in
Yeah,
NJPW. He's the fucking Death Rider out there. So dope.
I know. And Eddie Kingston now, it's like, are you the butt of everybody's joke? I mean, come on.
Yeah, poor guy.
You just totally destroyed all of that, that amazingness that we saw of Eddie Kingston when he first arrived. It's gone.
Yeah.
No one's gonna remember it. It's so buried now. But I mean, honestly, like, if they really wanted to open this forbidden door and they want to do this stupid bullshit thing with Don Callis, guess what? Why don't you bring the New Japan Tag Team Champions, which I believe are the Gorillas of Destiny, which I also believe, they're a Bullet Club.
Yeah.
And have them come fight the Bucks.
That'd be sick.
That's
cool.
That's what people kind of want. I mean, I want that.
Yeah.
That would be great. And I also want, because Sammy Guevara said he kicked his ass, them to bring Ocean Spray, Will Ospreay, so Sammy can do that. And I would cheer for Sammy.
In that case, you have to, yeah.
Yeah, Billy Ocean is.
Anything else before we talk about NXT?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's move on. Let's get to NXT. NXT. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Let's see. It opened up with Mercedes versus Dakota Kai.
Nice.
Like, I thought the match was going to be pretty good, but I still think it was better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I was kind of going into it being like, oh, this will be cool. And I had a hard time picking who would win, because I was like, do you really beat Dakota Kai again? Is she really going to be the Dolph Ziggler of NXT like I've been calling her for a while? She's going to be getting her ass kicked and making everybody look amazing and still talking like a tough guy, which, by the way, I love. I think there's worse places to be than the Dolph Ziggler, to be honest. But that's kind of what it was. But I thought Dakota looked great in the match as it went. Martinez still coming out with her retribution mask. Respect.
You just can't let it go.
Yeah, yeah.
Still part of the team.
Drop it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like when NWO used to go up to the mic to the camera on their way out to the ring and be like, "We see you out there, HBK." That's what's going on there. She's got the retribution mask, being like, "I love you guys." Yeah.
Yeah.
What'd you guys think of this? Let's go with
I thought it was a good match. Dakota Kai, yeah, I agree. Dakota Kai needs wins, because every time they're in a match, I'm like, you are the best worker here by a lot. But there's not bad workers. It's not like nobody else there can hold their own. So you're kind of like, why aren't you in a better spot? Because it's not like Rhea Ripley when they were there was bad. It's not like Tegan Nox or Raquel Gonzalez or Mercedes Martinez. These aren't like piss poor performers. You could be the workhorse champion and be great. Or this could be a really awesome feud between Raquel and Dakota Kai. I'd love to see that.
I'm waiting for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that they've been hinting that there's something that's going to go on between Raquel and Dakota, but I don't think you can have Dakota just beat Raquel. So I don't know. This match in and of itself, though, I thought was great. Kind of occurred to me as I was watching it that Dakota Kai's got new gear styles quite often, but she's still sticking with the style of Hannah, the way that she did it. And that's why she dyed her hair pink to begin with. So something I was thinking about, I just thought it's really cool that she's still keeping that in mind as she does it, like constant tributes to Hannah. So just like that stuff. But yeah, I just thought it was really good. Anything you want to throw in on there, Amanda?
Well, just like what you guys had said. I mean, I know it was going to be a good match, but it was like, whoa, I didn't really think it was going to be that good of a match. So it was very enjoyable. But again, like, I'm really waiting for the Dakota Raquel what's going to happen there, and I think that's going to be amazing. So if it's done right, but yeah, I mean, it was great. It was a great way to open the show, I thought.
So producer posed this question, and I'll pose it to you, and I'll also say just in time in the chat. If you guys want to be part of the chat, derail the show. Twitch.tv/Wrestling on the Rocks is the best place to do that. Justin saying the mask fits her look really well, though. Yeah, it fit everyone in Retribution really well, Dick.
That's how you make
fucking point.
That's how you make masks. You don't put a mask on someone that doesn't fit. That's how you get COVID with a mask that doesn't fit. Yeah.
Oh my lord.
Exactly. You don't want a mask that won't fit. What the fuck?
People.
Then it's just a chin strap.
Yeah. Then you're just like a ref in NXT.
Yeah. Quit trying to.
Drake didn't make her the mask. It's effective.
Yeah, your anti-mask, rhetoric on poor Mercedes Martinez. Leave it
Justin
alone.
coming in here anti-Max all of a sudden. No,
anti-Max.
He's our only supporter. We're gonna chase him away. No, the question the producer posed is, what is the difference between Raquel Gonzalez and Mercedes Martinez for me as a viewer to be able to pick one as someone to cheer for? And I didn't have an answer.
I would say just basically the biggest thing would be the
tattoos.
Well, tattoos. Yeah. I think the legacy, like her Mercedes story.
Which is
that's a reason why I would.
What's her story?
Would pick one over the other, just because I don't know. I love nostalgia, and I think that it's a credit to her because she's been who knows how much longer she has, or she'll go to the main
I
roster.
don't know her story then, I guess.
Yeah, it's not something that's been given to us. That's what I mean. Like, what's the difference between the two of them? If you have to Wikipedia to find out how long she's been wrestling, then that's a problem with the way that it's being presented.
Yeah, I mean, it's been over 20 years. I mean, or almost 20 years, and I think they have mentioned it many a time. I know Beth has, if I'm not mistaken. But that's where I would be. Oh yeah, that's where you kind of want to root for the underdog. And now I would say Mercedes Martinez is the underdog in the two. But it's still the two of them is still gonna be a really good match regardless. But if I were to pull for one or the other, I just go with Mercedes just because she's been there a long time. Yeah.
But by being an older underdog, that doesn't mean your character's any different. It's just a younger character versus an older character that's identical in every way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, apart from the tattoos. Klump,
tattoos and a mask.
Tattoos and a mask. There's a difference. Do you like Retribution? Then you go Martinez.
I like Retribution.
Yeah. Klump, do you see a difference in their characters? Because I thought that was a good point, that they're presented incredibly similarly.
Right now, yeah. In presentation, they are thrown out very similarly. And I think maybe what they want to do is build this battle of giants, because they're both very athletic, tall female performers. But then we kind of all of them have kind of been put in that role over and over and over again, with Rhea as well. So I don't really care.
See, but with Rhea, she's got this punk rock kind of metal thing going on.
Yeah.
So I could see a difference. With Io, I clearly see a difference. She's, the gymnastics crazy, flying off high places, like she has a different look. Like I think so many of these strong characters, there's a difference, and I'm not seeing it. And I don't want someone just to look at them and be like, oh, it's two Latina chicks. Okay. I mean, I'm rooting, I'm rooting for both of them. Hell, they're both my last names. So it's like, it's hard for me.
Yeah. She goes, I might be related to one or both of them.
Yeah. Yeah. But and that's fair. Like I agree with you there. Is it with them more than any other time? It really does feel like that it is hard to separate them out difference wise. They're tall, built, strong Latina wrestlers, which is and silent. It's like, okay, like maybe putting them together, we can separate them more by being like, look at the things they do differently, but we kind of need to start doing that rapidly, and we're not.
That could be. That could be that we see the separation through this and not to get into it. That could definitely be.
Yeah, they're Michael Cera and Jesse Eisenberg.
Oh yeah, it takes a little bit before you start seeing the differences. Yeah.
Adam, Andy Samberg as well.
Yeah, that could be. Yeah. All right. Well, moving on. Let's see. After that, we had the grizzled young veterans cutting a promo. Here's the thing about the grizzled young veterans. I don't recognize them ever. 100% of the times they come out, I'm like, who the fuck are these guys? I go, who the fuck are these guys? And then the graphic shows up and they start talking. I go, oh, the grizzled young vets. I love these guys.
Yeah.
There's something default avatar about the way they look that just they don't click. It's no idea who they are 100% of the time I see them until the name shows up and I go, oh, my faves.
Which is kind of funny because you also watch NXT UK with me, and you are starting to recognize more people there than Grizzled Young Vets.
Yeah.
Wait, what did you call him? Like something Morgan Webster? What was it?
Floyd. I called him Floyd.
Floyd Morgan Webster. Yeah, you're really getting those names.
Yeah. Well, I don't know the name. I know who he is, though. I see him. I go, oh, it's Floyd. And they're like, it's Flash. And I goes, yeah.
Guy.
And that's Andy Dennis.
Yeah.
Eddie Dennis.
Eddie Dennis.
For those of you that don't know, NXT UK, there's a wrestler that at one point there was a time where the announcer just said his name. Even if he wasn't wrestling, he was on the side of the ring. They just kept screaming his name.
Yeah, it was crazy. They're all like, Morgan Reps. Who's the they named two people having a fight, and there goes, and Eddie Dennis on the outside of the ring recovering. And I was like, why'd you have to say that? What was that?
Well,
yeah, and then like they're going back and forth. They're like exchanging strikes, and Eddie Dennis getting into the ring to rejoin the melee. And you're like, why are you so excited about Eddie fucking Dennis? There's 3 other people in this match.
It's like it's the 2 first names of uncles.
Yeah, Uncle Eddie, Uncle Dennis. Yeah, 100%.
One.
Yeah, and then the big
one has
Eddie
a
Dennis on the better of this exchange. Yeah, yeah, Eddie Dennis on the better end of this exchange. Oh, Eddie Dennis knocked down. You're all like, what?
It was so ridiculous.
I 100%. As we're watching it, it was crazy. I'll go find the match. I'll forward it to you guys. As I was watching it, I just started giggling because producer was super into the match. She goes, "This is great," and she's like, "What are you laughing about?" I was like, "They just keep screaming Eddie Dennis," and she's all like, "No, they aren't." And then she started listening, and she goes, "Oh my god, they just keep screaming Eddie Dennis."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Do you think someone bet them in the back that they couldn't make the you know what I mean? How many times can you say Eddie Dennis? Probably thousands. You know what I mean? Like,
holy shit,
paid, per time.
Yep.
So
what's up?
I just looked up Eddie Dennis.
Eddie Dennis.
A couple things. One, he's frighteningly huge. How have I not heard of him before? And how do you get Eddie Dennis? Like, how did nobody say, like, look, we're going to give you a different name because this is not an Eddie Dennis.
No.
This
is Butcher.
6'6". Yeah, he looks like an utter monster. It's like, no.
Yeah.
We're giving you...
We are talking NXT.
Yeah, but look at...
We're not going to talk about UK.
Look at...
Maybe.
Yeah, but look at... But look at Bronson Reed. That name doesn't say big guy to me.
Oh, yeah, Bronson does.
No.
Bronson's a big guy. Bronson's a bad motherfucker.
No.
Anyone named Bronson's a mean motherfucker. Don't fuck with anyone named Bronson ever.
If I was dating a guy named Bronson, I just know it's going to be frightening, and I need some Vaseline. That's what I'm saying. So
I'll say this: I knew someone who dated a guy named Bronson. He was a little scrawny dude, but that dude could like bend a bike in half when he got drinking. It was crazy. I was like, I could beat you up, and then I saw him drunk and went, I don't know if anyone could beat him up. I don't know. This is crazy. This is weird.
I think it's a name with a spell, because if you're named Bronson and like you don't have the genetics, it's an utter curse.
Yeah. Yes.
Like it's a name you should be given at 15.
Yeah. You've earned to be dubbed Bronson.
You were Philip, now you are Bronson.
Oh my gosh. One
And you
tidbit
immediately
I
go to
wanna
jail for
share.
6 months.
Oh. One tidbit I want to share for people, just because I think this is funny. So, Marsh's new favorite wrestler, Floyd Morgan Webster. There is, this is actually a true story. There is a PWG match where he wrestles Marty Scurll. And one of my friends totally just ribs Marty Scurll all the time. Marty's like, I can't stand that fucking guy. Right? He goes, I know what he's doing. He says, but I can't stand him. He pissed Marty so off so much, just razzing him. He threw Floyd Morgan Webster.
Floyd.
My friend Josh got a concussion. I just was laughing.
Hell
I was like,
yeah.
You deserved that. Okay. And then he went up to Marty afterwards. He goes, dude, I have a concussion. And he's like, you probably deserve it. And I was like, this is just the best. And
Maybe you'll
Josh
forget to
was
be a
like,
dick.
Yeah, don't be a dick, because you know what? Sometimes some of these guys, if you want to be a dick, that's proof and point that don't be a dick, especially if you're sitting really close up, and there's no guardrail, it's just seats. Don't be a dick.
That's some War Machine shit. It's like a talking
Yeah.
shit. I'm throwing you at him. You're doing what? Wah!
Yeah. But I wouldn't want anybody from War Machine coming at me if someone threw one of them at me. I would oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah, Viking Raiders. So we did end up with the grizzled young veterans. Yep. I don't think they cut a bad promo. I do think that I'm not into the shit. The sin to be. It comes off way too much like soon to be recognized as the former great. You know what I mean? It's like, what? Like, how do you... I guess, like, what is it? You go soon to be recognized to be the champs, and then you become the champs, and then you go to soon to be recognized as the longest champs or the greatest champs. Like, you have to move into that. Like, at some point, you have to acknowledge being acknowledged, right? Like, I just don't know where you go if you want to be successful if your whole gimmick is that we're not recognized or given opportunities. Like, if that's your gimmick and they feed into it, you will forever not be
They're one step away from being the opportunity.
Oh, yeah. They are the opportunity. Sting to be. But I like their back and forth with Ciampa and Thatcher. I'm excited about this match because I do think they put on tremendous matches. Mm-hmm. I really liked Ciampa on this. I loved Thatcher and the way he was talking. And then he started doing the song with the foot thing, the shoe thing. Do you guys understand that chant very well? Because I know that it's something that happens in the UK at soccer matches. And I did see it on that takeover where people were singing something like, if you hate this dude, take off your shoe.
You need football.
What'd I say?
Footy.
Footy? Soccer? Oh, yeah. European kickball. My apologies. The other fake sport. What?
Sorry, good cop, bad cop.
Good cop, bad cop's not listening to this. He knows better. I can't wait to go on that show and tell Graham that I'm a huge fan of European kickball.
They're just going to disconnect you.
It's going to be amazing.
Oh, I don't know. We lost him.
Yeah.
Their shortest episode.
You know who
Talk
you
about
could
bad
ask
cop
about the song?
Who?
Ask your buddy 9 Days, because he does own a footy team.
Tony does own a footy team. Actually, I got a buddy who lives in
Tony's dad
Ireland.
owns a footy team.
Oh, well, you know what I mean. It's all the same.
I'm sorry. I get a little bit touchy here. He's a trust fund kid through and through.
Exactly. It's his dad.
So it's not him, it's dad.
I know it is dad's, but still.
Yeah.
Well, if none of us know what it means, Klump, what'd you think of this segment?
I'm not big into hacky sack, so I mean it was cool. It wasn't in the NXT on Hulu, unfortunately.
Really? They cut it?
See, that's why you don't watch Hulu.
Fucking USA app didn't work.
Well, I know, but then now, okay, again, Peacock. When are you updating NXT? It's still March 31st is the last one.
Yeah,
Really?
I agree with that.
I want to watch my Peacock. as I wait for my
Whip out Peacock.
wrestling WWE land at Universal Orlando.
Damn right.
Just saying.
Well, if this was cut, that's a bummer. Amanda, did you get to see this segment at all?
I did.
What did you think?
I don't know whose idea it was to put Ciampa and Thatcher together, but God bless them. There's a great dynamic there that I'm sold on. And anytime Tim has that smile, I'm like, oh my God, it scares me. And it's very scary. I think that's scarier than the name Bronson. Okay, Tim smiling.
Can you imagine Thatcher sitting there like smiling at HBK in the back, and HBK like looks at him and goes, "That guy needs to stop smiling at me immediately."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's such a terrifying smile.
Yeah, and it's sad because he's such a nice person. Okay. Yeah. And like even when, like not in his, Tim Thatcher character, when it's just, Tim Thatcher, it's kind of scary. And I told him that once before. I'm like, dude, that like your smile is like kind of scary. And he goes, really? Yeah. It kind of is. Even if you're, just talking to him. Yeah, it's kind of scary.
He's got just generally his expressions are fucking amazingly like he's got the vibe of just a classic horror villain, which I love. Like I'm trying to do what Marsh does so well and draw people digitally, and I was like, I'm gonna try and draw Timothy Thatcher based on like his just frightening fucking look, and it just nothing quite brings justice to. It's like, this is unsettling, but it's awesome. Like he scares me. Like he looks scarier than the Fiend.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, he does.
Yeah.
Even Alexa Bliss and her weirdness that was at WrestleMania. Yeah. He's scarier.
100%. You know who you should try and draw if you're feeling like if you want to kind of hate yourself a little bit, try and draw Cesaro, because you won't be able to find pictures of him where he's not just like glistening and rippled. It feels awful.
I've drawn from Chikara when he had kind of hair.
Okay.
But
yeah, the two of them together. I loved a couple weeks ago when they cut that promo where Ciampa gets out of the chair and storms off, and Thatcher's still sitting there and just starts smiling. Like, oh, we're gonna hurt people, and you're just like,
that's just that. Yeah, that's like, if that isn't a warning to people, I don't know what is.
Well, I feel like also with Dexter Lumis, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody in back said, okay, you do what he does, and just points to Timothy Thatcher. Just do what he does normally. And it's not, it's good, but it's not quite there, because it's just like, it's different.
It's nowhere near.
Yeah.
Can you imagine someone asked Dexter Lumis how he like gets together and thinks up stuff for his character when he goes, I watch a lot of horror movies and I watch Thatcher. Just kind of see how he is with people in general and take cues from that.
I would be, oh my God, you talk.
Let's see.
I
There
want
was
him
a
to talk
spot
and
here.
have like he affects the worst southern, like the most southern accent. Like he just speaks and it's the highest. Like it's Bob Holly.
No, like Jeff Jarrett stuff, like old. Ain't I great? Come on, slap nuts. You know?
Yeah, like, oh no, no.
Yeah.
No, but we already have someone that kind of sounds like that, so we don't need that. And that person's amazing.
Camera drops.
To the moon.
To the moon. Actually, right before the Grizzled Young Veterans, there was a Cameron Grimes little skit where he went to a store to buy the biggest, most expensive watch possible.
It was a really good sketch.
Wasn't it a pawn shop? It would have been better if it was a pawn shop. I thought it was a pawn shop.
Pawn shop. What did you think, Klump? Was it a pawn shop?
It was supposed to be, to me, it was supposed to be a jewelry store, like just an independent jewelry store that has stuff. Because, I mean, it would have been cool, like if you went to like a proper watch boutique. But I think it was more like, what in the jewelry store is the most expensive. And what I thought was really cool in there's a book that came out in the early 2000s, WWF Unscripted, talks about wrestlers and history and stuff like that. and they have a page from Stone Cold Steve Austin talking about getting a biscuit, which is what they refer to as a gold on gold Submariner, Rolex President, or Yachtmaster. And the picture, as I recall, is a Yachtmaster, and that's what Cameron Grimes got. And that is I'm a watcher. That is a properly awesome, expensive, really interesting and complex watch. But also, what made me laugh my ass off is the watch that we'll get to. Do you mind if I ruin the end of this?
Do the whole
Ted
thing, man.
DiBiase comes
Take
out,
this
shows
one to
off.
the moon!
Yes, shows off a Rolex Datejust iced out that looks terrible, and Cameron Grimes is like, because it's all about ostentatious looking wealth, not actually expensive or things with class. That's why it's the 10-year-old Lamborghini. And I was like, that's fantastic. Cameron Grimes, you are the best. Like if it had been,
the watch that Ted DiBiase had?
it was a Rolex. It was a Rolex Datejust. It's what's considered the entry level Rolex. It's so a Yachtmaster is in that metal. In gold on gold, it's easily a $20,000 to $30,000 watch. And if you go based on if it's a vintage one and with certain years, certain things like coloring of numbers, you can go up a lot higher. A Rolex Datejust, you can get one for like $5,000. Iced out, it might be $10,000, but it's not a factory gem. They never factory gem set bands Rolex.
Yeah.
And when they do factory set, it doesn't look that shitty. Like I think they deliberately were like, get the shittiest looking Rolex we can find, and they
Just
did.
get a shitty Rolex and put a bunch of diamonds on it.
No, get the shittiest Rolex would have diamonds. Rolexes very seldom have any diamonds. They're actually rather plain as watches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're very Apple-y.
Yeah.
They don't even have a see-through back.
Oh wow.
I'd take my old Swatch watch any day. That smells like strawberries.
I love Swatch watches.
I do too.
They're the biggest watch company in the world. They own,
Yeah.
other than Rolex, almost every watch company.
No, I gotta get my pocket watches fixed. But
Oh, they don't own Philippe Patek, do they?
They don't know Patek Philippe. They own Omega, Ulysses Nardin, Tissot,
Well,
Hamilton, a bunch of stuff. They're the biggest watch company in the world.
as we know, Klump is the connoisseur of watches. If you look at his Twitter, so.
that
Big
for one,
Rolex.
you can buy a watch from Klump over his Twitter. Although he does obsess over watches on a way where when I see a watch show up on WWE,
Corbin.
I'll try to screenshot it and send it over to Klump and be like, "What watch is this? I think it might be this one." And then he comes back with like, "This is what the community is saying." I'm like, whoa.
And it's like, and I just get like, I get so excited. I'm like, yeah, I get to do a thing.
Yeah. Although Bailey had another watch I couldn't get a solid picture of, because that's the thing, is the one that you identified.
It was really
Part
cool.
of me thinks it's really cool, but part of me thinks the coloring is just the photo that makes it that red and blue. But I don't know. It was hard to get another second picture. But either way, I think it's really cool. So ultimately, the watch that Cameron Grimes got was worth 3 times the amount of the one that DiBiase had.
But he got upset because it wasn't the blingier, flashier watch.
Mhm.
Like, and I think that goes to like when this character's going in and it's like, I want the most expensive, the best, the drippingest, and like anyone in society who's like, you know, a jewelry salesman who's like aware of like people with wealth and standing, they look at this and it might be something that's subtle, and in a watch world it might be something a lot less gaudy, but it's a lot more expensive. Shows off this and he's like, oh wow, gets at it, super excited, and then fucking $1 million man with the ugliest, most 80s ass shit Rolex, and it's like, oh, but that one.
Yeah. Damn it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Let's see.
I would have liked it more
Go
if
ahead.
he got the Domino's Rolex. That there's, if you owned a Domino's pizza franchise and you sold $1 million in a quarter, they would give the owner a Rolex that had Domino's Pizza on the face, and it is from Rolex, done and everything. And they're this weird little kitsch thing, and they're just hilariously gaudy because it's just a stainless steel Rolex, white face, dominoes. And I don't know why. I just think that would be the most Cameron Grimes you watch to me, other than something just covered in ice that looks weird.
How much does that go for?
$2,000. They're not that expensive. They're also really small, but I would love one just because they're so weird.
Yeah.
I would want that to be my only Rolex, so I could be like, I have a Rolex. And people are like, really? Let me see it. Like,
No,
boom.
really? Oh wow, let me see it.
Dominoes.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you're fucking with me. There's no way this is real. Oh, it's real. You know what I mean? Like, that's exactly the type of Rolex I would own.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the Mary Kay in the pink Cadillac.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's see. We're gonna go. Let's talk some of these skits before we talk about matches, just in general, because Faptina brings it up too. There's the whole Diamond Society thing. Did you guys get a chance to see those clips?
That one, no, I did not.
Did you see it? I mean, you might have missed it. It looked like a commercial. Did you
Maybe
see
I
it,
did.
Klump?
Nah.
They put up this logo thing, and it had this whole little video. I don't know if I could find it on YouTube fast enough to where you guys could see it, because it's only like a few seconds long.
Oh. Then I probably missed it.
Because it looks like a commercial. I was not watching it, and as I was watching it, producer goes, "Oh, people online are talking about this," and I was like, "What?" You know what I mean? Like, then I started paying attention because I was like, "Why are they talking about a commercial?" You know what I mean? Let me see. So let's talk about this. So talk about Xia Li. Did you guys see that segment?
I did see that. Yes, I liked it. I
Talk
thought
about it.
it was good. I like the scary promos they're doing with the character, but I feel like we're pausing again, and we can go further faster.
Yeah. I mean,
What do you mean?
I don't know. I've been
Oh.
really anxious to see more Xia Li in all of this, and I keep forgetting that. Oh yeah, we haven't seen Xia Li in a while yet. You know, so it's getting. I don't want to say old, but it's getting to me. I'm like, when's it gonna happen? You know.
She's
I'm
been gone
impatient.
for a bit.
Mhm.
I'm tweeting you right now, Amanda.
Okay.
Oh, you got DM'd
Yes,
it twice.
I love it when
and,
you. No, I'm not gonna say I love it when people slide in my DMs because I don't want weird DMs right now.
Klump does.
So
I'm sending it to Klump.
I have
Klump
a
loves it.
pre-approved sliding thing here.
Yeah. So what was cool about, and I just sent it to your text, Klump. So the cool thing about Xia Li coming back is she's been gone for a few weeks, although I mentioned it on Tuesday. I don't know if you guys have been catching any of the weird Aleister Black promo stuff that he did on SmackDown, but I thought,
Yeah.
hey, maybe you could slide in Xia Li and her whole crew with Aleister Black, and that could be really cool. However, they're back and doing what appeared to me to be the Bohemian Rhapsody Galileo segment. We're like, Galileo, Figaro.
Dude.
Yeah,
Oh, mamma
just
mia,
faces. Mamma mia, mamma mia. 100%.
Interesting.
But-
Diamond mine, huh?
Yep. But what I thought was cool about Xia Li, I'm going to throw this out there real quick, is the whole thing was in one of the Chinese dialects. I don't know which one. I know there's a couple. I don't want to pretend that I know exactly which one it is. I don't.
I don't. Don't ask me, people.
I'm not asking.
No, I'm just saying.
I'm demanding.
I don't want people, hey Amanda, like
Yeah.
you're Oriental, and yeah, I don't
Jesus.
know. I don't know. Yeah.
But I
The
like
only
that was
Chinese
there
I
because it's
probably know is like when you go to a Chinese, like when you go to like a Chinese restaurant, a real one, not Panda Express. Yeah, where they have like
Hey.
weird names. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like dim
I'm on the
sum,
Panda
like
Express diet.
Shuma.
the Panda Express
Yeah.
cleanse I do once a month. You get
Yeah.
2 entrees and a side, all 3 chow mein.
Yeah.
Hmm?
Yeah.
And some Malox and just have a fun night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Flushes your whole system.
No.
I lost 10 pounds.
Okay, now that's off diamond mine. I can.
All right. But what I liked about the Xia Li segment is she is doing the whole promo in Chinese, a dialect of Chinese, I should say. But it still seemed to have oomph to it. And it did have the surprise and the overall thematic looming nature of it. And I was like, this is badass.
Yeah.
It was just one more time. We've talked some shit on him. This is not the first time we're going to talk shit on him tonight because we're going to hit him up again later. But it made me think, like, I don't know, Andrade. doesn't seem like other people are having the same struggles that you bitch about. So.
Yeah, I mean, there's something there's something to be said for body language, and just she comes off like a badass, and the other characters also seem terrifying.
Yep. 100%. So, did you guys both see the Diamond Mine?
Yes, I did.
I like it.
What do you think? What do you think it is, Klump? Because we saw that
Tessa
as it
Blanchard.
was.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll start with Amanda. Amanda, you think it's Tessa
Yeah.
Blanchard coming in?
It's Tessa Blanchard, and the only reason why that immediately comes to me, not because of the diamond stuff, but if you've looked on her Instagram lately, she's had these very interesting posts that basically she's basically telling people that, like she's changed, she's kind of apologizing almost for things. And when I saw that, I'm like, you're trying to get signed somewhere. That's the first thing I thought.
Mm-hmm.
And now I see this, I'm like, oh shit, that they're taking a chance. That's what I think.
Yep.
Klump, what do you think
Yeah.
it is?
I agree. I think it's Tessa. I think it makes the most sense to me. We've seen, her working out with other performers in the WWE. She's she's built a rep around herself, or a rep's been built around her. But I think this could be a spot, to take a risk, take a chance, because, hey, if that's the only thing they've done and we're getting past it and they can work past it, WWE might see some value in that. And yeah.
But I also, to add, I think about AEW with Evilise and them releasing her. Again, someone with similar, problems with other talent. But obviously the biggest thing is, she was no selling Thunder Rosa on that and others. But I would think, if this is true, Tony Khan should be kicking himself, in his little, whatever. And, because they could have had that. They could have had that. And her dad's there. They could have had that. She could have been part of it, But
I wonder how much of that was him warning her.
I don't know.
Yeah. Tully's like, don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't come over here.
I wonder this. I could see where people would think it's a diamond mine. I don't think that you bring in a singular talent to be called the Diamond Mine. It sounds larger than that. So then that begs the question, are we getting a faction known as the Diamond Mine of like shoot fighter types? Because I don't know if Tessa Blanchard falls into that category where, although she's got a ton of stuff on her Instagram of her training in MMA gyms and stuff, I don't know that she comes in with what is considered like a shooter MMA style thing.
Yeah.
But I do think that what it looked like to me, because I saw men and women in it and a bunch of fighting and little snippets where it's all like, are you tough enough and all this shit, it really made it feel to me like an NXT version of Raw Underground. And I wonder if we're going to get the Diamond Mine as a segment where people can go out there and kind of maybe fuck around in like that fight pit that they constructed.
Yeah.
And maybe out of the Diamond Mine comes Tessa Blanchard, the Diamond. You know what I mean? But I think that the Diamond Mine is a little larger to me.
Or it could have to do with a lot of the signings that they recently did.
Was that?
Because there's a lot of good people that we haven't seen yet, and some that we've kind of seen. So you never know.
Parker Bardo.
Parker Bardo.
Parker.
Yeah. I thought he could be involved in there. Because even if he's in the background training and stuff, he's going to look like a fucking presence. People are going to be like, ooh, the fuck is that?
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
Can you imagine if they're showing something where like two people are like sparring and in the background, not even in the focus, you see Parker like line up with a dude and just one punch knock the guy down? And people like run over and like try to see if the person's okay. And the person's wearing like a training helmet and pads and shit. But the focus isn't on him and the camera has to pan over and be like, what the fuck was that? You know what I mean? Like, that could be cool.
Put him through the wall. That wasn't the gimmicked wall, though.
Yeah. Wrong wall. That actually happened with JBL and Farouk. Ron Simmons when they were doing the
He's
APA.
going through.
Yeah, they went and fucked up Tim White's bar, and they gimmicked up a wall. But by the time the thing was going, Bradshaw forgot which wall it was and threw the guy through a different wall.
Ooh.
Oh,
well.
Bradshaw.
Yeah, so good. But I don't know. Dynamite, a lot of people are saying Tessa. A lot of people think it's Tessa. Bishop, from Terrible Wrestling Takes, thinks it's CM Punk because it has little taped up hands.
What? No. First of all, hey, Bishop, what crack are you smoking? Okay.
Well, he's from
Delaware crack.
Delaware.
Yeah, you're from Delaware, but still, bro, the only place that he's gonna go, he's not gonna go back there. You know,
NXT,
you know where he's gonna go.
NXT.
No, he'll go. They'll give him an obscene amount of money. Tony's dad will give him an obscene amount of money, and
Impact?
He'll do maybe one thing. What, I don't know. I personally am like, if you're gonna spend the money, I need him and Cabana to fight, because you don't screw your best friends don't screw each other over, and there's a bitter war. Those two are still so bitter about each other right now.
Yeah.
It's still in court. That would be
Colt
fun.
Cabana.
Colt Cabana.
And CM Punk have like legal battles all the time. That'd be a great fight.
You didn't know that? Oh yeah, no, because basically, to sum it up, if you guys don't know the story, obviously when CM Punk was out of WWE, when he could, he went on Colt Cabana's podcast, because that was his best friend, not was. And he let him air out. It was a 2-hour thing, and they did 2 parts, and there was another 2 hours. So pretty much, said some things about people. I guess one of the doctors at WWE. So, yeah, one of the doctor ended up suing him and Colt. Then all of a sudden during it, this Punk was like, "I got you covered," because Colt was freaking out. Colt never made the money that CM Punk made. But if you know other things in the background, you're like, you're a liar. But anyways,
yeah.
So ends up being that Punk told Cabana, I can't do this for you. You got to do it on your own. And the lawyer told their lawyer, because they were sharing a lawyer, was like, well, I can represent you too, but we're not billing it to Mr. Brooks.
It's funny.
So Colt found his own legal representation, and they won their case. So no money was put out, but next thing you know, Punk sues Cabana. And Cabana sues Punk, excuse me, because for all the legal fees, and because he had promised Colt that he would take care of him and pay for everything.
Yeah.
And he had it in email form, and he had it, other witnesses that verbally it was said.
But did he pinky swear?
I don't know. That I don't know. But
That
I did
pinky
hear.
swear, I don't know.
I did hear that Punk countersued him. So, I don't know. They were like, people wanted them to settle, and Punk was like, no, I'm not settling with that dickhead. So yeah. So that's where I want to see that. Who would win? I don't know.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
Make it a tire iron match.
Yeah. Yeah. Just not exploding barbed wire or anything, because we all know that story. That kind of shit doesn't work.
Ooh, that'll go
Very
well.
capable. I don't even think
let's
they
see.
can make a tire iron. So
Yeah, Kenny can make the tire irons. It'll be perfect.
Yeah.
Waffles and tire irons.
tire irons. I still want that shirt. I wanted that shirt. I didn't get it.
I got that.
Still
shirt.
one of Clump's. Yeah, it's one of Clump's favorite
Oh,
shirts
I
of all
love
time.
that shirt. I
Waffles
love that
and
shirt.
tire irons.
Tire irons.
Let's see. So, yeah, I think there's a lot of speculation on it. We'll see what it is. To me, like I said, I think it's a little bit bigger than just Tessa. I do think it's very possible Tessa comes out of that, whatever it is, but I don't think that's a Tessa commercial. You know what I mean? Not the same way that we were seeing Frankie Monet commercials.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's talk about some of that, because I'm just flipping through here. So, I don't know how much you guys got to see of everything. We'll do this then. Tony Storm versus Zeta Ramir. Did you guys see this?
Didn't see. Nope.
I thought Hulu might
I
cut it
just
because
saw
it's a
Zoe
women's
Stark
match.
come out, and that was it.
Okay. It was
Yeah.
awesome. Tony Storm actually looked fantastic in this one, kicking a lot of ass. They made Zeta look like quite the jobber. And Zoe comes out because the whole thing, Tony's like cutting a promo on Zoe and saying, just know that I'm going to see you every time I strike Zeta. She's like your representative, more or less, right? So she's just beating the snot out of her. She goes to do the Storm Zero, doesn't pull it off because she just throws her back down and says, fuck it, I'm going to do something bigger because now Zoe's ringside. And Zeta knocks Tony down off of the top and then does the sickest shooting star press onto Tony.
Yeah, she kind of freezes in the air. I
She
swear.
got stuck in the air for a second, did a rotation before continuing to move forward, and just does a solid shooting star right onto Tony and gets the 1, 2, 3. It's a fantastic way to show a new star. She's kind of like a female Leon Ruff in that regard. But it was incredible. So much height. Like the camera like had to pan out to catch it. It was insane.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and Tony still looked awesome because it looked like Tony had the match and then just fucked around, and that was the problem, right? So I felt like it was really win-win, fantastic. Now it's also built into Tony versus Zoe, and that's getting heated. The idea that Zoe and Tony are going to have more matches is exciting. I just all around loved this whole segment. So if you get a chance to watch the match, it's worth it. It's not very long. They kept the
Yeah, I
match
wanna
pretty
go back
short.
and
I want
watch
to
it.
say I would say like 2 minutes or something like that, 3 minutes maybe. It didn't even like get cut up by a commercial break. It was relatively short. So it's definitely worth it, and especially to see that shooting star press. Matter of fact, if you just go to the NXT Twitter, Klump, if you want the shooting star press. Okay. All right, so Amanda has it, Klump. I guess you have to look for it. And what's going on there?
Oh,
Oh my
wow.
God.
That is
Oh my
beautiful.
God, why-
I sent it to Klump's DM.
Can you access your DMs, Klump? Is that happening?
Let me see what I got here.
Let's see what we can
You
do.
have to. There must be some important watch transactions in there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Tupatek Philippe spelled wrong. Patek Phillips. And Omega. Okay.
Oh my God.
Sounds like a
Yeah,
good
yeah,
watch.
yeah.
It's a good watch.
That
right there.
is a fucking fantastic shooting for Star Press.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's even better
so
than
good.
Seidel does it, actually, to be quite honest.
No. There's a watch called a Shooting Star Press that this guy's buying. I haven't been able
Oh,
to see
nice.
the.
Very
Okay, you
nice.
know, it looked great. It looks great. I like it.
Yeah, just awesome. So it's worth checking out the match if you get around to it. But since you guys didn't see it, we'll just keep kind of moving along other than keep going. So this next part had a few things with it. Did you guys get to see any of the stuff with the Way?
No.
The weird Indy Hartwell thing, the with Dexter Loomis during the Bronson rematch, but not much else.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there was a segment early on where Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon are being interviewed. Then someone hands them flowers and say these are for you. Frankie Monet comes out, and I thought actually Frankie's doing a really good job of like shoehorning herself into all these different promos and being like, "Let me introduce myself." It's kind of
Love it.
funny. Yeah, I'm into it. And then she goes like,
Yeah.
"Oh, you guys got flowers. Let me read the card." Reads the card and says, something Dexter Loomis. And she goes, "Oh," and then Ember and Shotzi start fighting over who the flowers are for. And, "Well, these aren't for me." And Ember just goes all like, "Girl, I'm married. There's no way they're for me." And starts pushing him towards Shotzi, and she pushes him back there, and they're just going like, "No, no, no, no." And they're fighting about him. So fast forward, the Way comes out, and Indy Hartwell is like pouting coming out, and I have no idea why. Because the connection was never made. It never showed anybody talking about this at all. So she just comes out sad, and I was like, I don't know what the fuck this is about, and it looks stupid. And then you have this incredible match between Bronson Reed versus Austin Theory. Just phenomenal. That has to come to a screeching halt because now Dexter Loomis walks out to flirt with Indy Hartwell. And now you have Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae acting like school children trying to pretend to be afraid of something that's not there.
Yeah.
And you have Indy Hartwell running away from Dexter Loomis, sliding into the ring this whole time. Bronson and Austin Theory are just laying down in the ring because they have nothing else to do. The whole thing has to wait for this. Then they're both standing up on the ring. Indy looks at Dexter and says the stupidest, quote, funniest thing of the night. She just screams, "Shut up, you talk too much." Clever. And then the ref moves her out of the way, and that's right when Bronson actually Irish whips Austin Theory, who then bumps into Dexter and knocks him down. And then the match finishes up real fast. Although Bronson in his fucking tsunami is brutal every time. Mm-hmm. Every time he does a tsunami, I'm just all like, fuck! Stop! So bad. So good.
Yeah,
but
they're never ready for it.
Yeah,
even when they
ready.
try to be, they're not ready.
No one's ready. So then they shoo them all away. The way goes away and everything. It cuts to another segment in the back, I think after the commercial, where Candice LeRae tells Indy, look, Shotzi and Ember are trying to get Dexter. That's why he sent them the flowers. We should take it out on them and get the tag titles. Obviously insinuating that Candice LeRae sent the flowers to Shotzi and Ember with Dexter's name on it to her Indy Hartwell's feelings, so she will focus on a tag title match against Shotzi and Ember. I saw some people not making that connection, but it's like, yeah, okay. Yeah, so now what'll happen is they'll probably lose, and then you're going to have Candice LeRae. It comes out that she sent the flowers. Indy Hartwell's going to be heartbroken. How could you do this, Candice? How could you mess with my feelings? And then now you have Indy Hartwell leaving the way, maybe feuding with Candice LeRae. I don't know why all this had to interrupt Bronson and Austin Reed, and I don't know. I know some people were all like, this is great. It's amazing. I'm so invested in this story between Indy and Dexter. I actually couldn't give two shits less about this high school romance angle.
Stupid. Give me more Thatcher smiling.
Yes.
I'd rather think that.
Maybe in their mind they think they're doing a Mandy Otis. Oh, it's a cute romance story. But in reality, it just comes off as just not funny,
weird.
not endearing.
Yeah, it's weird.
That's kind of the vibe I get, that this is what they're shooting for, and they think that they're hitting the mark, and it's not for me.
The problem is all of the way have been really digging their heels in on this super childish humor that they all think is funny, and now they're trying to branch into a different part of the storytelling that is equally childish. Their whole thing, the way and all of their lines and everything they do is easily the one segment I see every week between all of the shows of wrestling I watch that I think to myself, this was written by a child. This was written by a high schooler who thinks they're being clever.
Yeah.
It's just embarrassing and immature to watch. Yeah, Street Profits are writing it. Klump, did you even get to see any of it?
Not really, but you're not exciting me here.
Yeah. You're like, I'm not
gonna go back, and if you send it to me, I will cry.
I'm not. No, I'm not. It was so skippable. But the Bronson match was amazing. And Bronson got a huge win.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about the idea of Bronson taking the title off of Gargano and letting that move on.
Yeah.
Because I also don't think that Gargano's doing anything for the North American title.
No.
Mm-mm.
It's like a belt. It's just like a bracelet to him.
Yeah. All right, well, then we can keep moving. Keep it moving. Let's see. Colossal. Reed Theory. Did you guys see any of the Killing Dane Drake Maverick stuff versus Imperium? Overall fun. The big part of it was that Drake Maverick kept thinking Killian was going to turn on him. Alexander Wolf gets told by the rest of Imperium to hit Killian with a chair, and he just can't do it. And ultimately, I believe Imperium wins. But yeah, the whole time Drake is kind of playing up the idea that he thinks he's going to get turned on in this match. Yeah. And so that was kind of fun. But I mean, it was decent. Did you get to see it, Amanda?
No.
Okay. Did you guys get to see the Adam Cole interview?
No.
No.
Did you get to see
Hulu sucks.
I'm shocked that Adam
What?
Cole's interview got pulled from Hulu.
Wow. Obviously, that's where Adam Cole's stock went.
Yeah.
Pulled you off of Hulu.
Look, I remember when this ended being like, huh, that seemed way shorter than I thought.
Oh. Did you see Moon and Blackheart versus Aaliyah and Jesse?
Yes, that I did see.
Okay. Well, let's talk about that real quick. So, as Shotzi and Ember are coming out, Indy first on ringside is crew people with like cakes and flowers and stuff and donuts, just being like, Ember, Shotzi, this is from Dexter. Ooh, that's what it felt like. Candice and Indy come running out and attack Shotzi and Ember. And the best part of the whole segment was actually Robert Stone and his tag team being like, we won! And trying to take the tag titles. And Aja Smith is like, no, you didn't win. Like, what are you talking? No, you don't get those. And like took the belts away from them. Really good. But, Klump, what do you think of this segment?
The match is good. I'm curious to see where we go from there with it.
Match. The match got broke up.
Oh yeah. Let's skip me. It was interesting.
We'll skip it. All right.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Well, so Adam Cole cut a promo that you guys didn't get to see that a lot of people were talking about. This is why Adam Cole's next level. He should be Universal Champion. And the whole time I was watching it, I was all like, he's just a dick. Like, he just comes off as a dick. And it's, I mean, it's fine, but.
The whole time I was watching it, I thought he reminded me of like a tiny version of Ricky Gervais. Like his look.
Yeah.
His look and him being like a douche. I was like, this could be a character.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the whole segment is all about how Adam Cole is bigger than NXT and bigger than the title and how everyone needs to impress him regardless if they're the champion or not. And I mean, he did a pretty decent job delivering his lines. He's just not a very believable person. But I thought it was like decent, but I don't know why people are talking about this like it's the fucking Hard Times promo or something.
Yeah, I mean, Adam Cole isn't bad, but yeah, it does. A lot of the time, it's kind of like he's not bad.
Yeah, I think he does a good job, but I think he's also fine with where he's at, and I don't know how people see the Moon being his trajectory. You know what I mean? I see him as being a top guy in NXT for a long time because that's where he fits. I don't see him on any level. I don't see him going back and forth with Roman. What the fuck? No way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think you get eaten alive by some of those guys. I really do. But, you know, whatever. I'll eat crow one day if you want me to. We'll see how it goes. It's up to Adam Cole.
Yeah, that just doesn't.
Yeah.
I don't
Well, the main event was MS Kushida versus Legado del Fantasma. MSK and Kushida teaming up against Legado del Fantasma. Did you guys get to see that match at all?
Yes.
Yeah. Klump, did they cut that
Yeah,
match on Hulu,
no.
or did
Yeah,
Hulu
I did
just
get
cut?
to see this. Yes.
Promo? No.
No, not a promo. MSK versus Legado
match is
del
over, yeah.
Fantasma.
Match, yes.
Okay.
I was going to
Okay.
say, if Hulu cut that, then I don't know.
Son of a bitch.
What's wrong with Hulu?
Okay. Well, let's start with Amanda. What did you think of this match, Amanda?
Okay, this was one when I saw it announced last week. I was so excited for because for me, thinking of the pairing of Kushida with MSK, I was like, holy crap, because they do similar things and it's just going to be amazing. Because also I've just become this really huge, I don't know where this came from all of a sudden. Probably it came from Stand and Deliver, but I am really with Escobar. I'm just really kind of like really sold with him and Legado El Fantasma. You know, and I just, you know, and I'll tell you that it was exciting to know that that's, you know, who they were facing. So I thought, okay, you know, it's going to be a good match. This blew it out of the water. I will say that I think MSK has been involved in some of the best matches of the year, hands down.
Yeah.
Any company, whatever. And this one was great because everybody had some kind of, they were able to, everyone had a spot and they did it well. There was some great chemistry, obviously, just not even just between, you know, the individual members of each, you know, team, trio, but even together, it was amazing. And because you have Kushida, who's English is not his first language, and all of this. And I was just blown away how it was beautiful. It was artistry. It was slick. It wasn't like, oh my God, this is spot monkey match. No, everything was done with a reason. And when you have people that have that chemistry together and you see things like this, oh my God, it's such a treat. And I just was sitting there like this.
Yeah.
Watching. Like, I just couldn't get any more of it. I mean, it was just amazing. Like, I can't, if you're like, say, oh, was there anything wrong with it? I cannot think of anything that was wrong. The only thing that I think is wrong is I would have liked to have more time. But other than that, I just was blown away by it.
Klump, what'd you think?
More.
Good match. I thought everyone here did a fantastic fucking job. Legado del Fantasma is amazing. But MSK and Kushida, just these guys all work together, and I could see so many feuds. And I don't know how you build more around this, but it just makes me happy that no matter where these guys go, they're gonna be fantastic.
Yeah, 100%. Dude, Legado del Fantasma reminds me of like Mafia stuff.
Yes,
it's so crazy
very,
together.
Very.
And their gear is so badass with all the Aztec stuff on it, the Mayan stuff. So dope. When we saw it, the producer goes, "Their gear is so good, not like Andrade's bib he wore." And I was like, Jesus.
What? It's how many times did we say he's got to lose the bib?
His gear looks
it just didn't look cool. It didn't look badass. And you see them and they come out and you're like, "Oh, they're ready to go. Like they're ready for prime time,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. We said it all the time. He looked like he was wearing a Party City ninja costume, Andrade. But it was bad. But
yeah,
I loved Legado del Fantasma. I was really interested in MSK versus with Kushida on the same team as well, and I just thought this is definitely a match that Klump's going to want to catch, even if he watches nothing else on NXT. So I'm glad you got to see it because these guys are fucking tremendous. Yeah. It was so good. I mean, it just didn't disappoint. And then at the end of the day, with Legado del Fantasma getting the win, that was surprising because now you're like, oh shit. Maybe we have some contenders here, and maybe these guys shouldn't be holding the titles they got. So now it ups the ante, and oh no, we're going to get at least a second match. That sounds terrible.
God. Yeah. I remember thinking it's not even just that, it's, Phantasma looks great, and he's got these other two little guys. No, his side guys look awesome too. Like, they're not just, they kind of, they help him out. Like, they're all just so good. Yeah. That it's like really surprising. Where I'm like, man, like I'm rooting for everyone here. It's crazy.
Yeah. And also to add too, because I didn't know this until recently, Joaquin Wilde, formerly known as DJZ, he's had a lot of really bad, scary, I don't want to say injuries, but like wrestling health related things that are bad. Like he ruptured his colon in Mexico City, and I mean the guy, like, basically,
who hasn't,
the medical bills were so high, he went broke pretty much. And just to see where he is now, it's
pretty bad for Mexico bills to put you out.
Yeah, Mexican bills are putting you out.
Yeah.
You drink the water is the problem. Don't drink the water there, guys.
Don't
blow
drink
your colon right out.
But I mean, it, just to see how far he's come is just amazing. I mean, before this, I mean, he was already a pretty solid, wrestler. But now this has taken him to next level. And I think that the three packaged together, it just works. I don't know what it is, from the gear to even like when they're in, their, I like to call it their little mafia look, and
the suits
and all dressed up and everything. Yeah. It's so well put together, and you don't see that really a lot now because it's always
her business looking all sharp.
Exactly. Because like, look at Dark Order. That thing is such a disheveled mess. And I'm like, it would be cool if you guys were a little bit more cohesive, not all over. But when you see things like this and Hurt Business and everything, you're like, damn, that's something you stop and you're like, wow, that's what sports entertainment is. So
watching this match was one of those times you get the feeling where you go, yes, this is modern wrestling. This is the vision for what people refer to as modern wrestling. And when the old timers talk shit about the modern wrestling being flippy floppy and no selling and 100 miles a minute and all that stuff, like I hear what they're saying, because a lot of times it doesn't click. You see that stuff happen and you go, why was this match a train wreck? And you go, because there was too much flippy floppy. It was 1,000 miles a minute. No one's selling. But when it works, when the guys get it right, or the women, when they get it right, this is what it can look like. This was fantastic. I was like, oh, this is what people think they're doing all the time, and they're not quite executing.
Exactly. I think when I look at I'm looking at AEW, and I know Bishop might probably agree with me on this one. But when you look at some of the trios that they've had, like Death Triangle, and then you look at the Elite. I mean, I've seen the Elite live, seen them live, and I've never seen those three guys, and even when they're in New Japan, I've never seen them work like either one of these two teams. And I'm like, wow, because obviously you've got someone, Kushida, who is primarily a singles wrestler. You've got MSK, who that's their specialty. They're a tag team. They're a cohesive tag team. And then you see what, Escobar, obviously, he's great singles wrestler. I haven't seen him in, tag, so I can't say. But when you look at Legato, you're like, holy crap, these guys are totally just like MSK. These guys are a team. And I mean, individually, they'll be good, but together it's like, wow, that's amazing. And I don't think that, any of those trios can hold a candle to, because Penta's great, Phoenix is great, Pac is great, but they don't have that synergy. And they're doing kind of some of
who the fuck outside of this, like, who the fuck is good at 3-on-3 matches? How do you get good 6 people in the ring at one time?
You don't.
It's not just, you know what I mean? Most of the time it's just like, okay, or I guess it went as well as it could. You know what I mean? But this was one where you right? Yeah. There's always at least one, because there's 6 people in there trying to do their stuff. This was amazing, where everyone was complimenting each other in such a way that you're so like, this is a fucking wrestling match.
And and everyone had their moment.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the way you talk about really good classic TV shows that I love, like great comedy, and that
Taxi
or Frasier, my favorite. But where it's not that everyone's so good and they want to feed that ego and be the brightest star and just shine themselves. They complement each other, and it's just like what Amanda was saying too, that everything being done with a purpose. When you take acting classes, that's from like really, really great instructors. That's one of the things that they say, that, you don't just do something to do something or say something to say something. You have to move and speak with purpose, with a reason, because you're believing what you're doing as a character. And I think that really showed in that.
Klump, what do you think of all this?
I just got back in. It was wrestling.
I hate you so much.
Love him. That's my Klump right there, dude.
It was wrestling.
Yeah, it was wrestling. It happened.
Blame my stomach. I'm sorry. I bailed out.
It's all right, man. You did the best you could.
Yeah.
Blame your stomach. Yeah, it was wrestling. Yeah.
Exactly.
It was good.
But,
It was good. It was a good match. It was a good match.
Yeah,
But
I think that's her. Was good.
Okay.
But I'll ask
enjoyed
you,
it? It's
because
your
I know you know,
Okay.
Young Bucks guy. Did you find that either one of these two teams had better chemistry than like the Elite?
What are the two teams we're referencing? I just got back.
MSK and Kushida. We're still talking about that match, and then
And Legata.
Escobar and Legado. Okay.
I think Legado del Fantasma has very, very good chemistry, and it's been built up. Honestly, a lot of what I liked about the Elite in terms of chemistry was less to do with their work in the ring together. Like it was more like spots together.
Okay.
Yeah. So like,
Little
they're
story stuff.
great as performers in the same troupe, but in functioning in wrestling, I think. I think Legado del Fantasma really is there. I think Kushida and MSK could definitely get there.
Yeah.
You know, and the Elite, there's so many. I think it's, I'm trying to think of the core members of the Elite, and yeah, I think the best chemistry of execution for the Elite wasn't even where they were together; it was during a feud,
Mm-hmm.
and I'd
Okay.
say that was good, but it was a weird spot. And then that's to me when Young Bucks versus Kenny and Kota, because that was a good mix of a lot in wrestling, and the chemistry was there, but I don't think we saw a lot of that in other places. That's just my view of it.
I think I've already got Legata del Fantasma in talks with New Day of greatest 3-man tags.
Oh
ever.
yeah.
You know what I mean, I think they're already in that conversation. You know what I mean? They're just so good and fluid together.
I'd love to see those 6 have a match.
Yeah. Oh,
Just to see, and I think that would, again, another incredible thing, to see. That'd be very interesting to see.
100%.
I'd pay good money for that. I don't like spending money on WWE.
That's a good point. You've always been adamant about that.
Yeah, I don't.
Well-
I don't.
Guys,
I'm waiting for shirts to get cheap so I can buy them.
I'm going to just... Oh, yeah, we got to get you that Thatcher shirt.
Oh, I know. I need
Guys-
my Thatcher shirt. Camera Grimes.
I'm just going to throw this out there real quick. I know you two did not get the chance to see it, but on NXT UK, we did watch their show today. It's a 1-hour show. It's really well put together and definitely worth to watch most of the time. I don't think we've seen an episode yet that didn't get us talking, at least after a while. But there is one match on there in particular I wanted to mention was Maiko Satomura versus Iofi Valkyrie.
Ooh.
I did not think going into it, to be honest. I didn't know what to think about Valkyrie. I was like, she's got a lot. Here's the deal, is I get real hesitant when I haven't seen someone very much and their entrance is super theatrical and their gear is super elaborate. Not garbage, elaborate. Because I start thinking like...
I've seen people who have great entrances and their gear is garbage. I'm like, what the hell?
Right?
I've
seen that too.
To have a good entrance, you need the whole package.
Right. But my concern is when someone puts that much effort into the front end of it, I don't know what I'm going to get once the bell rings. And sometimes I feel like a lot of, especially newer talent and younger talent, or even like indie talent, I feel like they put so much thought into their entrance and their gear that they don't put a lot of thought into what happens in the ring, and you get some clunky stuff. It's just, I've just seen it around from place to place, and I wouldn't say any one single place is more culpable than another. But that's what my first thought was, is like, I don't know. Her entrance is super elaborate, very unique, very cool. And I found myself halfway through that entrance being kind of like entranced by it. And I was like, I'm loving this all of a sudden. Because at first glance, I was like, I don't know about this. This is a little overthought. And then halfway through, I was like, this is amazing. I was like, I hope she wins.
I was like, I like it. I was like, I like the theatrics of it.
Yeah. Which I'm okay with ultimately. I mean, obviously I like Karrion Kross and stuff, but there's been concerns of mine where his entrance was so much. I was like, man, if he doesn't put out like a fucking amazing match from time to time, he's quickly going to be that dude with the entrance.
Yeah.
I mean, luckily he's done some stuff. His stuff with Finn Balor, incredible. But this match, Maiko Satomura versus Iofi Valkyrie on NXT UK, dated April 29th. Check it out. Definitely, to me, I think this was my favorite match of the week. I'm going to be honest.
I love that.
Wow.
I love that I'm the one that pretty much made you watch this because I was like, oh, I want to see this week because this is the match I want to see.
Yeah.
I love that this just stole match of the week for you.
Yeah, this was incredible. Hard-hitting, ingenuitive. I couldn't believe the stuff that Valkyrie was doing because I look at her and I was like, she's very young and new. She's going to be doing crazy stuff. She's going to dive to the outside. She's going to be trying to move it too fast. I hope Maiko's able to slow her down. The typical things you think of when you see a new talent with a seasoned talent. That was not at all what happened here. Wow. It was a total crazy fight. There's this drop kick thing she does towards the outside. Oh. She does like this dive to the outside without ever diving to the outside. It was just genius. It was just super impressive, and I encourage anybody who likes wrestling to watch this match because this is going to be a hard one to beat, and I think that people should be talking about it. And if they're online and they're not talking about it, they're wrong. This is the one.
I almost feel like lately, like I've been kind of wanting to add NXT UK to my.
I think you should.
I actually think you should.
We should do that, and then maybe we because I know Producers Lady obviously watches it, and then maybe we can chat a little bit about that.
With the new job, it's been a little busy for me, but I
know the feeling going back to consult.
Right. But it's like the one wrestling show that I'll watch without Marsh, because it's entertaining for me, but also to me it's like believable. You know, like you've got these people that even if they're small or even if you're like, oh, well, the other guy's like huge, there's something they'll make up for it. You know, like it to me in my mind, it just makes a lot of the matches make sense. Where it doesn't always style. Yeah, which I love. It doesn't feel like a spot fest or like you're trying to give me a show. To me, it feels like these characters are believing what they're saying and who they are presenting themselves as.
And how they're moving and what they're doing. I think that was all true.
Yeah, and motivated moves, actions.
Yeah, and I don't think Valkyrie is any exception to that rule. I think she is doing fantastic British-style wrestling, and she did it with someone who was doing incredible Japanese-style wrestling. It was just amazing. I couldn't believe what I was watching. So,
but before that, if that's all you have to say about that,
that's all I have to say about that. Also, Klump, write it down. You should watch it.
Okay. Yeah, because it was excellent, and
the women. 11 minutes.
The women are just I mean, everyone's kicking ass in that, but the women especially I think are doing a great job, and also it's easy to digest because it's only 1 hour. It goes by so fast. Where every time I watch it, I'm like, I need another hour. Like. How come this is so short? But they pack a lot into a small time frame. But before this match, there was another match that happened where it was one guy's debut, and there was a little injury there.
Oh, yeah. This dude got his arm snapped. It was disgusting, dude. I'll find the clip of it because there's no way we won't be able to find the clip.
You just want to like blood and gut everybody here. Okay.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to rip you apart. Dude, and the guy, like, he's got them in kind of like a, sort of like a label lock. No.
You're calling him this guy. Oh,
yeah,
poor guy.
One-armed McGee. Yeah. So this dude's got one-armed McGee in like a label lock. And then the guy starts to get towards the ropes to try and get out of it. And then the dude cranks back so hard. You just hear like... And the guy, as soon as it happens, when the guy cranks back, you hear it. The guy screams, and the guy putting the move on rolls away super fast. And then the ref runs over, and you can just see the bone poking out. Not through the skin, but just elevated. And you're just all like, oh my Lord.
Okay, so here it is. I got it.
You found the clip?
No, I'm not gonna send the clip. It was Tio Man and Rohan Raha, and I believe it was Raha's debut. So that's why I was excited to see him because he had tweeted out earlier, this is my NXT UK debut. It's happening, and I was like, all right, let's see what this guy's got, and apparently he got a nearly snapped arm that happened because I didn't see it. I was like, oh, so I missed it. Like, what happened? Because I came from another room, and I looked away because they did a replay, and I heard it. I was just, like you hear the actual bone, and I was like, okay, that's gross.
Yeah, it's awesome, dude.
That's gross. Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That's bad. Yeah. And that sucks. It's his debut. That sucks.
But shout out to the ref, Chris Sharp.
Yeah.
He had tweeted, I know referee stoppage isn't everyone's favorite outcome to a match, but the safety of the competitors is paramount. So after Rohan's shoulder popped, I decided to call it. I knew he wouldn't have given up and only would have caused more damage. So get well soon. And I thought that was really awesome, that, wow, someone's actually, taking charge. They care about their people. Like, awesome. Great job.
100%.
That's awesome. Not awesome that he,
I mean, kind
all
of.
of that, but that's pretty, awesome.
Yeah.
And then Marsh said, blood, I want to see this. Blood, where's the blood?
No,
there's actually no blood.
Yeah, no.
Oh, no
You
blood?
just- No.
Just bone.
Oh, I can see this.
Well,
Yeah, the bone's like-
no, I don't. It freaks me out because there's just like bone poking. I'm like, how do you have bone poking
It's-
without blood?
It's not poking out of the skin. Like I said, it's just you see the skin is elevated there where the bone is trying to protrude some.
Okay. I thought it was like bone picking out. Like, oh. But either way,
amazing.
no. Oh. Either
Yeah,
way.
he tweeted out after, I told you all that I'd never quit, and I meant that. I'd rather have my bones break than tap out. But the other guy cut a promo right after, like right as the other dude's like getting medical attention.
Yeah, he grabs the mic and he goes, "I don't know if you were stupid or brave, but you can see the eye is watching." Because that's what the guy says. Teoman's always going, "The eye is watching. The third eye is watching. 3 eyes, 3 eyes, 3 eyes is watching."
God.
Guys, and I think nobody else is
I'm
watching.
sure.
What do you say we do last call, guys?
I say so.
Let's do it.
Oh, yes. Oh, before we do last call, just because I saw this, a note is on Impact. I don't know if we're going to see Tony Khan ads anymore, paid ads, but I saw that New Japan is bringing El Phantasmo to Impact next week, which kind of is exciting because El Phantasmo is phenomenal. But I'm curious if he's coming for Kenny. And that would actually, I would love to see that. Just because.
Does he have a belt?
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
No, does Phantasmo have a belt in Japan?
No, but he is the 2-time Yellow Jacket winner of the Super J Cup.
Oh, that's a hell of a golf
We've
tournament.
only done it twice, and he's won it both times. Now,
Yeah.
well, I mean, they used to do it, but they brought it back.
All right.
So
Klump,
yeah,
anything that we
he's
didn't...
an interesting one to watch.
Klump, anything that you wanted to throw in there before we close up shop?
I don't got anything. I think we're good to go from me.
Good. I'm sorry we went on a little long about NXT UK, but I do think it's one that, because it's also not, I mean, it's not part of the zeitgeist the same way as all the other shows. It's one of those ones where even if you watched, a little bit here and there throughout the week, it's just solid wrestling matches throughout the show, and it's like she said, an hour long, so it's easily digestible. This one, I would say though, Klump, I would say just watch the first match and the women's match, and you'll be fine. You'll be set.
You just want people to watch the guy's shoulder.
Yeah, I want him to watch the first match so you can see the guy's arm rip out and hear it.
It was so unexpected.
Yeah, it was the opening match, dude. So watch the opening match. It's 6 minutes before the guy's arm's broken, and then it's like 2 matches later when Maiko comes out. So you can just fast forward at that point. You just.
I mean,
My heart is just breaking for this.
It's
guy.
great. It's great in that it's like, welcome to UK.
Yeah.
But
There you
still, that's a good way to go.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
All right. So I do think, though, Amanda, I know how much you don't like a lot of the WWE stuff. NXT UK is a different breed. I think it's just definitely a different breed. When you watch it, watching it does feel a lot more like watching the first run of NWA Power than any other WWE project. It does feel different. You're watching something else. You know what I mean? So
I already like British wrestling anyway, so
Yeah. Well, it turns out producer's a huge fan of British wrestling. So
British.
You guys see that TikTok thing going around where it's all like it's got the Disturbed song where it's like when you're British and it shows a water bottle and it was all like ooh wow wow.
No.
It was so funny.
Put that slide into my DMs. I want to see this.
I'll get it out there. Get it out there, Klump. I know you're dying to go because you're like, what the fuck has happened the last 30 minutes?
Like a cat scratching something around me.
No, I think of that too. Like, that's what I thought was funny.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, that happens to me too.
Yeah. Ooh, wow, wow. Okay. Guys, thank you guys for coming in, having a drink with us, pulling up a stool, and throwing them back. Producer hates when I say something like that. We are at WOTR the show. Make sure you check out our buddies over at TerribleWrestlingTakesPodcast.com/TWTs and throw in that promo code D as in dog, E as in elephant, greater than A as in alpha, Z as in the last letter of the alphabet. DE greater than AZ.
What up?
Yep. And get yourself 25% off.
It was a V on the side, the greater than.
The greater than's not a. I mean, I guess it's a sideways V, but.
Yeah, it's an arrow. Look.
I mean, it's a carrot. But okay. Everybody, calm down. Get those 25% off. You can get that 5-pack we just got, and everybody's getting a T-shirt here. Wrestling on the Rocks, guys. We are at WOTR the show. I am at Ref Marsh. With us, as always, at Amanda Jane with a Y, and at Crybaby Klump with a cry.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming through. That's last call. Cheers.
Cheers.
Hey, producer lady here. Thanks for tuning in. Continue to support us or buy us a drink by following and putting the I in subscribe on Twitch. Or subscribe and review our podcast on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to us. Cheers!
I would never have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.